Imagine a SWAT team raids a house, battering doors, breaking windows, and coating everything inside with tear gas residue. Now imagine the SWAT team had the wrong address. Who do you think would pay for the damage? If you said insurance, you're probably wrong. If you said the city, you're probably also wrong. So Jeff, one of the people that experienced this is Vicki Baker in Texas. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. So Vicki Baker's story is pretty typical for these SWAT cases. So she owned this house in McKinney, Texas. It's a suburb north of Dallas, and it was on the market. She was relocating to Montana, and it was actually under contract. She was going to close in like a week. Well, the McKinney police showed up with the SWAT team. They surrounded the entire house. They blew up the garage door, like literally with explosives. They knocked down the fence. They used these Bearcats.
Which are like tanks, right?
Yeah, they're basically like tanks. And then they absolutely saturated the whole thing with tear gas, like over 60 canisters. And I didn't know this until I was doing these SWAT cases, but it turns out that tear gas is like unbelievably destructive. It's non-lethal, but it basically gets into anything porous and destroys it. So like drywall, carpeting, flooring, all of the personal property in the house pretty much had to be torn out and thrown out. And that was over $60,000 worth of damage, even when she was like half moved out. So the house is trashed. Obviously, the sale doesn't go through. And it turns out the city won't pay her. They say, our police officers acted lawfully, so there's nothing you can do. Her insurance company said, your policy has an exclusion for acts of government authority. And most people don't know this, but this is actually really common. Almost every insurance policy excludes damage done by the government. So our client, Vicki, was like totally out of luck. She thought that she was going to have to, get money out of her retirement accounts to try to cover this and repair it.
So is what happened to Vicki exceptional? How common is this sort of situation?
Nationwide, I think it's pretty common. We hear about a situation like this where it's an innocent owner and a SWAT team trashes the property probably every few weeks.
It's dramatic video of a SWAT team raid. Cops in gas masks search a house from top to bottom. With guns drawn, they search every room looking for a murder suspect. But there's a major problem. The family who live here say the cops got the wrong house. Mom of two, Amy Hadley, says they completely ransacked her house.
That's not the right house.
She says the cops launched dozens of tear gas grenades into the house. Hadley, who works as a medical assistant in South Bend, Indiana, says they shattered windows, punched holes in walls, ransacked furniture and closets, and left the home in complete disrepair.
There was glass in the beds. We couldn't even sleep in our house. My son and I had to sleep outside. The tear gas was that bad.
The raid took place 18 months ago. After Hadley filed a lawsuit for the cost of repairs, the video has been made public. Did you ever get an apology from the police or an offer to pay for the damage?
Oh, absolutely not.
So what happened with Vicki specifically?
Well, it was a bit of a legal roller coaster. So initially, we sued the city of McKinney in federal court, and we argued that the destruction of her house, of her property, it was lawful, but it was a taking. Just like if the government took your house with eminent domain to build a road or a school or a jail, they destroyed her property for public use to get a dangerous criminal off the street. And the federal trial court actually agreed with us. It said that this is a taking under the Fifth Amendment. It said that some other decisions by other courts had been poorly reasoned on this issue. And we ended up getting about $60,000 in a jury trial for her. But then we went up on appeal to the Fifth Circuit, and that verdict got reversed. It was a surprising ruling because the Court of Appeals basically said that everything the town had been arguing for getting this verdict overturned was wrong. What the court did was it looked at these old cases, and then it basically said, this is just like what the government's doing here. It was necessary to damage this property in order to, promote the greater good. The problem is that all of those old necessity cases are about the private tort of necessity and whether
and
an
they're
individual.
about paying, right? Like if you said if you break the lock, you have to pay for the lock, but you're not a trespasser.
Well, that's in cases of private necessity because you got the benefit of it. In cases of public necessity, you're generally out of luck if it's just a private person that destroyed your property for the public good.
Oh, so if I tear down people's houses to prevent a fire, I don't have to pay them for those houses if it's deemed necessary.
That's the old common law rule.
Okay.
But there are also cases that the Fifth Circuit didn't look at, didn't see, maybe because this issue was never briefed, where federal courts actually said in the 19th century, if the officer, the government officer, takes your property and it's necessary, or destroys your property and it's necessary, he's not a trespasser and he can't be held liable, but the government has to make the property owner whole.
Sure.
So courts have actually distinguished between this private tort defense and the government's obligation to provide just compensation. Because the whole idea of the just compensation clause is that we're taking these benefits, we're taking these burdens, which are public, and sharing them across the entire public. We're not forcing some random individuals to bear these public burdens. One of the examples we use in these cases, we always say that, this damage is just one of the costs of law enforcement, and that making Vicky Baker pay for it is like having a lottery to determine who pays like the police chief's salary.
What happened with Vicky? Maybe we can argue about, was it even reasonable for them to, use a tank on her house and throw 60 tear gas grenades in it and whatever. I think we all have potentially opinions about that, but at least it was the right house and the guy they were looking for was actually in there. That's not the case always. So what are some examples of, it doesn't feel like it can get even worse.
Police search warrant, come to the door!
It only took about 10 seconds between Elyria police announcing their arrival.
Okay.
And barging into the home where Courtney Price and her 17-month-old son Waylon were staying in Cleveland suburbs last Wednesday. Police also threw flashbangs through a window that Price says landed near Waylon and that he was exposed to smoke and suffered burns.
Come outside.
Price and Waylon, who suffers from multiple health issues, were staying at her aunt and uncle's home. After being ordered out of the house, she was immediately placed in handcuffs and questioned.
My biggest thing was just obeying them and getting me and my son out of there.
It was a traumatic night for Erica Rios and her two teenage kids. This after their home was raided by Galveston police on Sunday, January 22nd, while they were sleeping. Police broke windows, doors, and dragged them out of their home in the middle of the night looking for a teen accused of murder.
Major confusion. I had no idea what was going on. It was scary. Like I said, it happened really fast.
In the end, police arrested no one. They raided the wrong home and didn't find their suspect.
What they did to me and my family was wrong. What they did to our family traumatized me, my daughter, and my son.
Imagine checking your Ring camera and seeing this on your cell phone. Armed men at the front door.
U.S. Marshal, come to the door.
The woman in the apartment is Kata Staples. She's a new mom, and she's with her infant, Catalina, just 3 months old.
We know he's in there. The place is surrounded.
Nobody in here. Hold on, I'm coming.
She comes out cradling baby Catalina and wearing just a t-shirt. The officers are suspicious. They still think their wanted man is inside.
U.S. Marshal, come to the door. Put your hands up.
The distraught mom tries to explain.
You guys came to the wrong apartment.
It's true. They've mistakenly targeted the wrong apartment in Bradenton, Florida. Pretty soon, the officers realize Kata is telling the truth, and they take off. Kata is left in tears.
So we actually have another case in the Fifth Circuit that came from just outside Dallas in a town called Lancaster, Texas. In this case, a SWAT team commander was hoping to lead his SWAT team to bust a methamphetamine stash house. So he knew basically everything that there was to know about this house. Obviously, he knew the address, but he also knew exactly how the house looked. But when this SWAT commander, his name was Mike Lewis, went to lead his SWAT team to this house, they all gathered on a front porch. And then Lewis realized, oh, this isn't the right place. The right place was on his left. A house full of innocent people was on his right. But Lewis, for some reason, seemingly just looked to his left, looked to his right, and guessed. He ordered them to raid a completely innocent family's home. And so our client, Karen Jemerson, owned that home. And the SWAT team did what's called a break and rake. So they busted down the door, they threw a flashbang grenade on the front stoop, and they shattered all the windows, raining glass over Karen and her sleeping family.
And these two houses look completely different.
They look completely different, and there are a few reasons why that anybody, you don't have to be, a sophisticated SWAT team leader to realize the differences between these two houses. So the correct house had a perimeter fence, it had a detached garage. And maybe most glaringly, Karen's house had an impossible to miss wheelchair ramp.
It
should not have been there.
zigzags across the yard.
There's two exits. One goes to the driveway and one goes to the front path. And the officers had to clamber up this wheelchair ramp to bust down the front door. They had every reason to know that it shouldn't have been there.
So you'd think at some point, right, these officers are walking up the ramp, that they would think to themselves, this isn't on the briefing. How are we here? Why are we moving forward with this? But these officers did none of that. They just proceeded right ahead.
They proceeded right ahead. And I would imagine from the individual officer's perspective, they were probably just following the orders of the commander, even though, they also had reason to know that this wasn't the right place. But really, it's astounding to me that the SWAT team commander could watch his officers clamber up the wheelchair ramp that was not supposed to be there to break open windows and bust down a door, especially when Karen's house had the address numbers right next to the front door. And Officer Lewis knew what the correct house's numbers were, but he even admitted that he didn't really bother to look.
So what happens in the case? We took this case over, right?
Right.
So what did the court decide already?
Right. We took this case over after the Fifth Circuit had already issued an opinion. And we filed an en banc petition that's still pending right now. So basically what the court said was, sure, this violated the Fourth Amendment. And Officer Lewis actually conceded that ordering this raid on a house full of innocent people violated the Fourth Amendment. But the court still said that he was entitled to qualified immunity, which I think anybody listening to this podcast knows is something that we run into quite a lot.
You have an arrest warrant for who?
Open the door. Come through your door.
January 29th, tense moments as Lori's husband, Mike, asked questions. The couple felt the interaction turned aggressive and threatening.
All right, 1 second. Sir, who is the arrest warrant for?
Open the door, or we're going to come through your door.
Did you get confirmation?
They called 911, but say they still could not get verification. Officers were at the door.
Terrified for my safety and then also just for my wife and my son's safety.
After opening the door, Mike Lovis learned the officers were part of a joint task force looking for a suspect, someone who doesn't live at their house. This was one of 3 police visits that started in December 2020, a month after the couple purchased their home.
It's funny because as we started to track these cases, and I have people reaching out to me on a pretty regular basis telling me about incidents like this, what we found is actually more often than not, the city does pay and no lawsuit has to be filed. Oftentimes there's a bit of foot dragging and then they realize, okay, like you really were innocent. Why don't we send us the receipts and we'll make sure that it's reasonable, but we're going to make you whole. And I don't know whether these cities think that they're required to under the law, or they just think that it's the right thing to do. I think most people have the instinct that that's the right thing to do. So I think it is a minority of cases where people are just out of luck and have to resort to the courts if they can find a lawyer.
It is hard when qualified immunity keeps popping up in places where it doesn't belong.
We are still optimistic about these cases that we're bringing, and we're bringing them even beyond Texas. So, why should we feel optimistic about what's happening in the courts now?
Yeah, so I think on the Fourth Amendment front specifically, there are 4 circuits who have taken the Garrison case I was talking about a little bit earlier seriously and said that qualified immunity doesn't protect officers when they have every reason to know that they're ordering a raid on the wrong house. But even more broadly, it's important to get these cases up in front of the Supreme Court sometime soon so that we can at least have some clarity about what plaintiffs under federal law can and can't bring claims for. So we have cases in South Bend, Santa Monica. It's not just Texas, even though we do have a lot of cases in Texas. But our mission is sort of to get one of these cases, multiple of these cases, in front of the Supreme Court so that there can be some finality about what exactly is protected and how far can the police go before they have to start answering for what they've done.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us today.
Thank you.
I'm following you, Andy. Go.
The Henry County SWAT team locked and loaded.
Wait for the bang. Grenade.
They've got a no-knock warrant for an accused drug dealer.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! I got this. 8
body cameras were rolling in 2018 as the heavily armed deputies searched for their target in McDonough.
Sheriff's officer!
Something went off like a bomb in my house. I thought something blowed up in the house.
Sheriff's officer! I need a kick. Sheriff's office!
Got to the hallway, they was all over me.
Show your hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
I said, what's going on? He says, no, you get down.
Show your hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground!
Grab my arm, twist behind my back, and handcuff me.
Put your hands out in front of you, sir. Put your hands out in front of you.
Anybody advise if we have the target? 79-year-old Henri Norris was not the target. Deputies had the wrong man and the wrong house.
Sheriff's office, search warrant!
I can't even imagine what he went through.
Geronimo!
If you're not safe in your own home from the government, when you've done nothing wrong, where are you safe?
Clearly nowhere. It's really sad, and it hurts even more because my grandfather has never been in any trouble with the police. He's never even had a ticket.
Henri was watching television in the McDonough home he's owned for 50 years. The no-knock search warrant was for the house next door through the woods. So how did deputies end up hitting a house with a different color, a separate driveway, its own mailbox, and another address?
Missed it. Oh. We just got up. Missed it.
First, the tactical team got lost following instructions from a GPS app on a phone.
Turn right on me.
Then, as soon as they got to the correct address, deputies were immediately confused.
Where's the house? Where's the house? I don't know about that house right there. Where we at?
They walked right past the target house without clearing it and headed through the tree line to the next house on the street. Even then, deputies were unsure.
This house?
Looking back and forth at the two houses, it was too late. The entry team was already forcing its way into Henri's home. It was too late. The entry team was already forcing it.
Take a look at all those guys who dressed up like G.I. Joe Loser. Take a look.
Its way into Henri's home.
That just scared me to death. I already had heart trouble. I had heart surgery.
You got heart trouble. You got what? Heart trouble. All right. You have heart problems right now?
Yes, I could have died. I could have had a heart attack.
When they finally realized they'd hit the wrong house, deputies turned their cameras off one by one.
Yeah, a pizza delivery man could deliver a pizza to the correct address.
Daryl Scott is Henri's attorney. He sued Henry County's tactical commander, but a federal judge dismissed the case because police officers are entitled to qualified immunity.
That's what happens in the majority of cases. The cases are dismissed and officers are granted qualified immunity, even when there's a constitutional violation.
Search warrant!
Judges created qualified immunity to protect individual officers from liability, unless victims can show the officers violated rights that are clearly established.
As a screening mechanism for frivolous lawsuits, and what it's morphed into is almost absolute immunity for law enforcement officers.
The officers used a battering ram to enter the wrong house, used flashbang grenades, handcuffed the wrong man in the wrong house, and their get out of jail free card is I'm sorry and qualified immunity. Does I'm sorry cut it?
No, sorry, it does not cut it. It just shows that badge is a get out of jail free card. It's showing that if I have a badge, I can say I'm sorry and I have no accountability.
The government has given officers a blank check to go out in the community and break the law. They feel like they have the right to do that with no consequence.
If they're able to get away with this and not be held accountable, what's the danger then?
But they're going to just keep on doing it. They probably go into somebody's wrong house, somebody's going to get hurt.
So there that is. Welcome everybody to I want to show you guys one more thing here, and we're not going to watch a lot of it, but everybody, welcome to another rendition of DeleteLawZ. Thank you for coming. If you would please type in the comment section, as you can see some people are already writing it, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. And the reason why we say that is because Terry versus Ohio is that linchpin case that makes it so that if a cop is suspicious of you, if they even have reasonable, articulable suspicion of you, well, they might be able to get a warrant for a no-knock raid, as they did to me. And that's why I'm only going to show about 10 seconds of this, 15 seconds of this, but I want the people, put OTVO in that comment section if you would please. Now, if everybody would please hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's right down there. It's that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and then drop a comment down below, and let's beat the YouTube algorithm. Let's beat it. So I just want you to listen to the first 10, 15 seconds. I'm not even going to make the screen big. I just want you to hear the reason why I'm sitting in this chair today. I started this journey in the end of 2020, and now here we are in the middle of 2024. In the year 2002, I was no-knock raided by the chief of police, Michael Moore of LAPD, with an entire SWAT team twice in the same month. Since that date, I began studying the history of America and constitutional law. I am an autodidactic constitutional police, Michael Moore. In the year 2002, I was no-knock raided by the chief of police, Michael Moore of LAPD, with an entire... So that's the reason why we're here today, is they kicked my door down with absolutely no probable cause. All they had was reasonable suspicion because a confidential informant had told them that I was a chemical dealer. It wasn't true. They didn't find chemicals to establish that I was a chemical dealer. I wasn't at all. I was just a regular guy that someone else had a beef against. And so they went and told the cops that I was a chemical dealer. And then the cops came there and they kicked my door down the first time. And then 28 days later, they came with an entire SWAT team for a no-knock raid and arrested me, took me to the Los Angeles Twin Towers dungeon. I was in there for a week in 2002. Then I started studying the history of constitutional law, where the rule of law comes from, and so on and so forth. So that's how we got where we are today. That's when I saw this come out from the Institute for Justice. And by the way, thank you to the editors from DeleteLawZ, because I sent them the video from Institute for Justice and they then put a bunch of more things on there. And so I want to say thank you to those guys. We're going to talk about Press with Rancor as well. If we want, let me grab this real quick. And I don't know if Big Mike is going to be available. Let me do some shout outs here. We got Derek Hates Pigs. Jane Doe is here. Nice to see you. Steel Meal. Nice to see you. Nitrim Case. What's going on? Justin, you want me to give you a shout out? Throw your name in the audience real quick. Just put OTVO, or like Ashton put JBTP, which stands for Jack Boot Thug Pig. So do we have Press with Rancor in the room today? I'm not sure. I know he had court today. I would love to bring him on. Let me shoot him a text message real quick and see if Press with Rancor wants to come on. Let me see if he wants to come on. Press with Rancor. Hey, do you want to come on the live stream and talk about court today? Joseph Cart is here. I heard about Project 2025 getting killed. I just don't know if that's entirely true. Let me just comment on this one more time here, just real quickly. You know, we absolutely have to end no-knock raids in our country. Put a one in the chat if you agree with that we have to end the no-knock raid. In today's camera world, in the thesis that I wrote of segregation over incarceration, the way that I have the new peace officers working to make sure that they catch people who have warrants is you take a pole, you stick it outside the house, you put a camera on the top of it, you take a pole, you stick it in the ground, you put a camera on top of it out the back door, you put a notice on there for the person who's wanted, and then you wait. Then this camera up here at the top of the pole has people sitting in a booth wherever, 100 miles away, 10 miles away, 3 miles away, and it says right here, DeCastro is wanted, do not aid or abet. And then when Chille comes out, then they can grab him. But you don't need to no-knock raid people's houses. Put a 1 in the chat if you are not. Right on, 6 months member. Thank you. Thank you, Vigilante Committee of Cliff Williams. Nice to see you, man. So the idea is that we don't need to no-knock raid people anymore because of the digital era, because of the camera system. I'm going to present a lot of these ideas in film and video over the next couple months. So you can look forward to seeing that. Over the next couple months, I'm going to produce a bunch of new ideas and show them on video and how they work. So that's what we're looking forward to right now. Dan Hanlon is here, everybody. Thank you for coming, Dan. I really appreciate it. I'm going to show you another no-knock raid video here that will just absolutely make your blood boil. I'm not sure if you guys remember when this one came out, but this video is only 2 minutes long. I want to show it to you because thank you for your membership. I super appreciate it. The Vigilante. Thank you. The Vigilance. I'm sorry. What was it? What did it say? It said the Vigilance. It said the Vigilance Committee of Cliff Williams. I hope Cliff isn't dead. I hope he's not dead. I really hope he's not dead. What's going on out there in the land of YouTube? How is everybody? What's going on tonight? So I want to show you guys this video, and then I'm going to come right back to where we were.
Know that graphic police body camera existed until it surfaced in media reports earlier this week. She said it was never brought to her attention. But after city lawyers tried to legally block it from becoming public, there's a group of aldermen tonight who say the mayor owes the victim and everyone a full investigation. Chicago police officers stormed into Anjanette Young's home on February 22nd, 2019, attempting to execute a search warrant. But records show the officers had the wrong home. As she stood there naked and helpless, armed officers searched Young's home.
Putting handcuffs on me while I was naked. No one should have to experience that.
Anjanette Young stood with her attorney today in front of Chicago Police Headquarters, calling out the officers involved.
They didn't serve me. They didn't protect me. They didn't care about me.
After trying to distance herself from the city's attempt to block the video from being publicly released, Mayor Lightfoot apologized.
I am deeply sorry and troubled that her home was invaded and that she had to face the humiliation and trauma that she suffered. That is just not right. It simply should not have happened.
Tonight, several aldermen on Chicago City Council are calling for full hearings.
If we are for the safety and well-being of Black women, if we are for justice, if we are for accountability.
If we are for the safety of well-being of every single person in America, even if they're an illegal immigrant, they shouldn't be subjected to their life being taken from them from a no-knock raid.
And on Chicago City Council are calling for full hearings.
If we are for the safety and well-being of Black women, if we are for justice, if we are for accountability, we need to make sure that that information is out.
Mayor Lightfoot is asking that all video from the body camera footage that night be released to the public in its entirety. She's also asking state lawmakers to take another look at laws that govern body cam video. Young's lawyer says they plan to be filing lawsuits against both the city and the Chicago Police Department.
Hey, if you like that video,
Yeah, I like the video, but and then I'm going to show you guys this video from Caroline and Fort Worth in just 1 second. But before I do that, we're going to talk just a little bit. So look, the idea that the no-knock raid, let's talk about the reason why it was created. The no-knock raid was created so that the cops could kick down the door and grab the chemicals before you flush them down the toilet. That's the reason why no-knock raids really started to spike in the 80s and the 90s, because you could flush the chemicals down the toilet and then you would be able to evade charges. But what have we seen? We've seen that they've had absolutely zero effect on the chemical problem in America. And I have to be careful what I say because, as you know, YouTube censors will limit, and they'll even age restrict the video if I say anything in there that would give them an opportunity. A big shout out, everybody, big shout out to Big Mike Audits, who went to Press with Rancor's trial today. He supported Press with Rancor, who had trial today. Jim and Press with Rancor have asked me to limit the amount of things that I talk about his trial, because obviously I've been on the phone with both Jim. I've been on the phone with Big Mike Audits. I have not had a chance to talk to Press with Rancor today, but he had trial today. And I can tell you this, I've got some recorded phone calls. True to my word to Jim Mikowski and to Garrett Vanette, I'm not going to air anything right now. I'm going to let the trial go through without me in any way, shape, or form obstructing it. And so I talked to Jim Mikowski. Big Mike Audits was in the courtroom all day today for the jury selection and the very beginning of Garrett's trial. So if you guys would please, a big shout out to Big Mike Audits. And we're all with you right now, Press with Rancor. We are all with you, my friend. He's facing a felony for filming a cop. I talked to Jim Mikowski today. He told me how it went. He told me his thoughts. I'm not going to expound on them right now. I just want to give them an opportunity to defeat this, to beat this. And so we're fighting hard, and I'll show you what we did. Here's what we have available. If you guys are interested, we're right at $4,000. So we're at $3,979 right now. This is the link for the GoFundMe. If you guys want to put some money in for Press with Rancor, that would be amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. I put the link for the GoFundMe there. We have raised $25,000 so far. If you take a look at my community page, you'll see that we just sent over $3,000. The people put in $2,000. I put in $1,000. And I'll just read a couple of these names here real quick. Donna Smith just yesterday put in $10. Greg B put in $20 4 days ago. Sammy Serrano, Dale Wortham. Let me make this big so you guys can see what I can see. Sorry about that. Come back down here. Donna Smith, thank you. Greg, I appreciate it. Sammy Serrano, thank you. $8. God bless you. Dale, thank you a lot. Troy Jackson, Mark P, thank you, dude. Randall Johnson, Dan Howard, Tom P, Douglas Fields. Hellos for suckers right there. I guarantee you that is BZ Watchdog right there. That hello is for suckers is BZ Watchdog right there. So this is for Press with Rancor. This fund, the fund is attached to his bank account. All dollars go directly to his bank account. So if you guys want to donate, here's the link for that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Remember, if every day we get 20 people to put in $5, that's $100. You do that every day over a month, you get $3,000. The attorney Mikowski group is $60,000 because they have to drive 10 hours each way. They have to drive 10 hours. They've done 3 10-hour trips now to go up there for Press with Rancor. I'm hoping and praying that tomorrow he's going to be acquitted and that his case is over tomorrow. I hope and pray. So Press with Rancor, I'll show a couple of his videos maybe a little later tonight, but Garrett Vanette is Press with Rancor. Hey, Garrett, man, we're all with you, dude. We're all with you. Danelle Brown, been a member for 6 months. Danelle Brown also sent some money on my books when I was in the dungeon. She's just been an absolute G for me, and I really, really appreciate it. You know, it's really, really, really stuff. I wish I could hire Larry Foreman, the DUI guy. So Mad Max. So my email address is DeleteLawZ@gmail. If you need to reach me, shoot me an email. And I respond to every single email. I don't let a single email go by. I even read emails that are full of hate. I just want to make sure that I get everybody's email. I never skip an email ever because I might miss somebody who needed my help. So there's Press with Rancor, everybody. He wants to say thank you for the support and the well wishes. Danelle Brown just put out 5 memberships. Thank you, Press with Rancor. Thank you, Danelle. I appreciate it. All right, now I want to show you a video from
Don't stop on no bridge.
Caroline in Fort Worth. And I think if you can see this right here, I put, wow, I'm going to send you a trifold. Please, pretty please get your DL insurance registration put together on a laminated card. Can you guys see what I wrote right here? So this is Caroline in Fort Worth. This is her video. So I want to show you a little bit of this video because there's a reason why I put this comment. Pretty please get your driver's license, insurance, and registration put together in a laminated card. And so I hope that she's able to get that done. Okay, I'll check that out, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so what's going on, Playboy? What is going on out there, huh? What's going on out there in the land of the unfree America? What is happening where you are? Tell me what you're grinding on right now. Tell me what's bothering you the most right now. Which case is it? Which video is it? What is the most disturbing thing that's bothering you right now? For me, it's the continuation of Terry versus Ohio. It's the continuation of torture cuffs. I'm so sick and tired of turn around and put your hands behind your back. That has got to come to an end. I'm sick of people being arrested when they're not violent, they're nonviolent, and they're not given a chance to pay. That's what I'm really tired of. I'm really sick and tired of knowing that people right now are in the Clark County Detention Center or LA County Jail, and there's no victim to a crime that they have done. And I burn on that every single day. I try not to let it eat me up, but it's hard not to. It is super duper hard not to let these things affect your heart and your soul. So that's kind of what I'm grinding on right now. And then Jeebus Crispin, what's bothering me right now is the cops in Ironton are still not being drug tested and they're not being held accountable, and it's very blatant. So Jeebus Crisp is the reason I went to Ironton, Ohio. If you guys have not seen American Patriot Forever, that channel is going to start back up. If you're watching now on American Patriot, thank you. But we're going to start that channel back up very shortly here. Very, very, very quickly. All right, so I want to show you guys something here, and this is super important that you pay very close attention. Pay very close attention to what I'm going to show you next. This is unbelievable.
Don't stop on no bridge. Just keep going. We got pulled over right now.
I had an accident here one time before because I stopped. I can stop here because we're off the bridge, right?
I guess.
We can't get out. You can get out. You're the passenger.
Good evening. I'm Officer Massey, Fort Worth Police.
What's your name?
46853 and a stop because you're driving without any lights on. You have a driver's license on you?
You sure? Because are you sure I don't have any lights on? Oh, I didn't have my lights on.
Do you have a driver's license, please?
I have it in the back. Do you want me to reach for it? Officer Macy, badge number.
That's fine. Do you have a proof of insurance?
Yeah, I have proof of insurance. No, I don't have proof of insurance with me.
Do you have proof of insurance, please?
I don't think I have proof of insurance. Quick note, this is an unlawful traffic stop. I was not driving with my lights off because it's impossible to drive with your lights off in a Dodge Charger. I've researched it in the past to be able to drive like stealth and sneak up on these guys before. It's impossible to drive with your lights off in a Dodge Charger. What's wrong? They must mess with them at the mechanics. Yeah, sorry. You're showing the light on your thing.
I know, because he's a scumbag. We got your name now, pussy, didn't we? Got your name now, didn't we, bitch? Fucking dick eater motherfucker. Pussy. Turn your flashlight off, bitch. She ain't got nothing in here, you scary motherfucker. Okay. Coward, bitch. No, put it on the window. Put it right here.
Okay, did you hear everything that he just said? He just called that copper a bunch of names, went at him pretty hard. Perfect. You have every right to sit there and curse out those cops all you want. You can curse them out all you want. He's within his rights to do it. He can say those words anytime he wants.
Fuck him. Put it right there.
Okay.
No, it present it to you.
Yep.
You're interfering.
Shut up, bitch. Shut up.
Can I reach in here and see if my can I reach in here?
No.
Can I reach in here and see if my insurance is here?
Tell him it says you present
Can I
it
reach
to
in
him.
here? Can I reach in here and look for my insurance? No, I just have to present it to you. So that's right there.
That's the law.
Yeah.
You should know it, don't you?
Go get your pen and your paper.
Don't you know the law, sir? See, this was happening when you're an asshole and a tyrant.
No, I don't have my insurance with me.
Go write the information down. That's what you asked for. She presented it to you.
You got a pen?
And I'm not interfering. I'm in the car, stupid ass.
No, I don't have my insurance card with me. You can look it up though.
Tell him to call the supervisor if he doesn't want to do that.
You have proof of insurance, ma'am?
I don't have proof of insurance with me.
I'm sorry?
I don't have it with me.
You don't have it with you? Can you hand me your driver's license?
No, I'm supposed to just present it, so there you go.
Can you hand it to me, please?
No, sir.
That way I can take it back and run your information and we can get done with this traffic.
Nope. Nope.
Yes, just have to present it to you. I don't have to hand it to
Can you
you.
hand me your driver's license, please?
No, why do I have to?
Tell him to call the supervisor.
Yeah, just can you get it off there? Why do you need my license for? When you can
Do
see
I?
right there.
I'm sorry, it's difficult to hear you through the crack.
I said, can't you just?
It's still difficult to hear you.
I have to.
Tell him to call the supervisor.
So they're having a perfectly normal conversation between the crack, and yet now this copper is going to say that he can't hear her. They've been able to hear each other just fine. Watch and listen.
Yeah, just can you get it off there? Why do you need my license for? When you can
Do
see
I?
right there.
I'm sorry, it's difficult to hear you through the crack.
I said, can't you just?
It's still difficult to hear you.
I said.
Do you mind rolling the window down so we can have an intelligent conversation?
Was it? So it makes you smarter if you turn roll the window down?
Yeah, because we don't have to listen to each other whisper.
Wow.
Intelligent. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's my driver's license. All you gotta do is copy the information down.
Yep.
I can tell you everything that's on there.
I'm sorry?
I can tell you everything that's on there. 0831-3210 is the number.
You're making this harder on yourself, sir. Write it down. That's what it's for.
So this is, I'm going to jump in right here. Let me help everybody here out. And Caroline in Fort Worth, if you guys don't know, I absolutely love this woman. She's one of the first people who connected to me when I was on YouTube and I was new. And so many people were throwing peanuts at me from the peanut gallery. And Caroline in Fort Worth came to my defense and came to my aid. So Caroline in Fort Worth eventually will see this. Caroline, I want to send you out a couple trifolds and a couple cop cards. However, what I can't do for all of you is I can't do it for you. But what you can do is you can make a photocopy of your driver's license. Obviously, I'm not Denzel Washington, so that's not my actual driver's license, and I'm not black. But you want to get a copy of your driver's license, your registration, and your proof of insurance, and get it on a laminated card. Your current proof of insurance. Put a 1 in the chat if you have this done. Let me see how many people have this done. You want to be prepared. Caroline in Fort Worth is a First Amendment auditor. She's an activist. She's a wonderful human being. Caroline in Fort Worth has got to get her license, registration, and proof of insurance all put together in a laminated card. And then that laminated card, or just the slip, because some people's registration is a full-size piece of paper that you got to fold in half. You may have to take it out of the slip. But then everything goes up in your visor, in your trifold, just like this, with this broccoli wad rubber band that I send to you in an envelope. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a trifold, if you have the broccoli wad rubber band. You have to be 100% prepared for the cops in this country. Cops are hiding on the side of the road to get you. Cops are hiding on the side of the road to get you. That's what they're doing. They're hiding to get you. Do we know that? Who agrees with me? Put a 3 in the chat if you agree with me. Put a 3 in the chat if you agree with me. The cops are hiding on the side of the road to get you. If cops are targeting First Amendment auditors like Caroline in Fort Worth, you have to do this part. I did this part for you. Then secondly, I want to show you one. I'm going to run it back just a little bit, and I'm going to show you a part of this video right here.
Sure, I have my lights on. Oh, I didn't have my lights on.
Do you have a driver's license, please?
Yeah, it's not driving off in a. You're showing the light on your thing.
I know, because he's a scumbag. We got your name now, pussy, didn't we? Got your name now, didn't we, bitch? Fucking dick eater, motherfucker. Pussy.
Listen
Turn
carefully.
your flashlight off,
Listen.
bitch. You ain't got nothing in here, you
Wait
scary
for it.
motherfucker.
Okay.
Coward, bitch. No, put it on the window. Put it right here.
Okay.
Fuck him. Put it right there.
Okay.
No, it present it to you.
Yep.
You're interfering with my
Shut up, bitch. Shut up.
Can I reach in here and see if my light? Can I reach in here?
No.
Can I reach in here and
It
see if my
said
insurance is here?
tell them it says you
Can I
presented
reach
to
in here? Can I reach in here and look for my insurance? No, I just have to present it to you. So that's right there.
That's the law.
Yep.
You should know it, don't you?
Go get your pen and your paper.
Don't you know the law, sir? See, this was happening when you're an asshole and a tyrant.
Oh, I don't have insurance with me.
Write the information down. That's what you asked for. She presented it to you.
You got a pen?
And I'm not interfering. I'm in the car, stupid ass.
No, I don't have my insurance card with me. You can look it up though.
Tell him to call his supervisor, but he doesn't want to do that.
You have proof of insurance, ma'am?
I don't have proof of insurance with me.
I'm sorry?
I don't have it with me.
You don't have it with you. Can you hand me your driver's license?
No, I'm supposed to just present it, so there you go.
Can you hand it to me, please?
No, sir.
That way I can take it back and run your information and we can get done with this traffic.
Nope.
Yes, just have to present it to you. I don't have to hand it to
Can you
you.
hand me your driver's license, please?
No, why do I have to?
Tell him to call his supervisor.
Yeah, just can you get it off there? Why do you need my license for? When you can see right there.
I'm sorry, it's difficult to hear you through the crack.
I said.
So you have to have your license, registration, proof of insurance. But right here, Manuel Mata should have informed him because he says that you're interfering. You should have told him right here that you curse out cops, you use any words you want, and that you have a God-given right to speak. God-given right to speak and be heard. Houston versus Hill, 1987. Expressive disorder is inevitable in a society that's dedicated to individual freedom and must be protected if that freedom can survive. Mr. Hill interrupted police, and I can interrupt you as well. But you have to show the copper the information and then show him on camera that what you've shown, because remember what the clearly established prong says. The cop has to know which right he's violating of yours. That means you have to inform him, you're violating my First Amendment right to speech. You have to say the words out loud. You have to say the words out loud.
I said, can't you just?
It's still difficult to hear you.
I said.
Do you mind rolling the window down so we can have an intelligent conversation?
Was it? So it makes you smarter if you turn roll the window down?
Yeah, because we don't have to listen to each other whisper.
Wow.
Intelligent. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's my driver's license. All you gotta do is copy the information down.
Yep.
I can tell you everything that's on there.
I'm sorry?
I can tell you everything that's on there. 0831-3210 is the number.
You're making this harder on yourself, sir. Write it down. That's what it's for. You can shine your light at me all you want.
What's better?
What's your name and badge number, sir? Since I'm part of the investigation now. What's your name and badge number?
Chille, check your email. Chille, check your email.
For what?
I have the insurance with me.
No, that's not how it goes.
I handed you the keys so you can open the door for me.
And it's the same ones that we just talk shit to. Call your supervisor. Tell him to call the supervisor.
Give me just a second, be right back.
Well, it's probably for it, so. You know, they must mess with my lights over there.
Look, they got a car. I am in the car. I am in the car, sir. The door's just open. No, I'm in the car.
You can step out of the car.
No, I don't want to.
Step out of
Yes, the 5A cop card is included with your trifold.
the car.
For what, sir?
Step out of the car.
For what?
Step out of the car. You're detained until I'm doing my traffic stop.
Okay. Here, hold my phone. Sir, can you please stop being violent? Call your supervisor. Since y'all gonna fuck with me and retaliate, call your supervisor.
You got any
They're
weapons?
detaining him.
I
They're
don't answer
detaining him.
questions. Fuck you.
Okay, so if you get pulled over, can your passenger be detained? It's on your trifold. Passenger, get out of the car. Both Arizona versus Johnson and Maryland versus Wilson. 2009, Arizona versus Johnson. They even mentioned Terry versus Ohio. Arizona versus Johnson is an extension of Terry versus Ohio. The spirit of the law is for officer safety. As a passenger, the cop may allege numerous reasons for fearing their safety due to your presence. Exiting is a minimal intrusion. Refusal risks jail or harm. Exit with your hands up while filming. State, I identify as good citizen. I invoke my First and Fifth Amendment rights. No consent to searches or seizures. They can jerk you out of the car as the passenger, and those are the two cases that allow them. Both of those cases, take a look at the years. Terry happened in 1968. Maryland versus Wilson and Arizona versus Johnson are extensions of the 1968 holding called Terry versus Ohio. Now, if they order you out of the car, I would agree to get out of the car. I'll say, yes, I will get out of the car. Take a look at the trifold. It says right here, I got this from a constitutional law scholar. I do understand that I have to exit the car. Then you go to the front, you flip it open right here, and you say, however, officer, I invoke my First Amendment right to film you. Turner versus Driver and Izari versus Yeehaw both say our right to film police falls squarely within the First Amendment to protect free and robust speech. Violating the First Amendment on camera removes the cop's qualified immunity. Now, Manuel wasn't prepared, and neither was Caroline in Fort Worth. We're going to fix that, though. So Caroline in Fort Worth and Manuel Mata, you guys, I don't have your mailing addresses, but I'm going to send you guys both out several pair. Matter of fact, Caroline in Fort Worth, I'm going to send you out 5 trifolds, and I'm going to send you out 5 sets of cop cards. Manuel Mata, I'm going to send you out 5 trifolds, and I'm going to send you out 5 pair of cop cards. So you get 10 cards total, because you need the driver and the non-driver card. You have to have them both. You have to have a driver and a non-driver card. And if Jilly's order if you didn't get your order, Jilly, I mailed it to you myself the other day. So we must have a wrong address, or it's there today. But I'm going to add more stuff to your order, because that's really frustrating for me that you still don't have it. Really frustrating, because I just mailed it myself the other day. So it is what it is. But I want to make sure that Caroline in Fort Worth and Manuel Mata, want to make sure that they both have trifolds and cop cards. The part I can't do for you guys, I can't get your license, registration, and proof of insurance put together for you. I can't do this part for you. I wish I could jump through the screen and I could do it for you. Obviously, I'm not William Bradley Pitt. I'm definitely not him. But I do have a copy of his license. I've got a copy of his license put in here. Do you see? I took the time to get his put in there. If I took the time to put his in there, why can't you take the time to get your license, your registration, and your proof of insurance? Listen, you could even do a laminated fold, a crease, and put your stuff in there. I choose to put a photocopy and then laminate the photocopy. This isn't my actual driver's license that I put in the slip. It's a laser copy of my driver's license, front and back. And then when I put it in there, what I do is I give that to the copper, and it's worked 3 times on camera. They didn't ask for my actual physical copy because I gave this to them. It sure looks and acts just like a driver's license. They ran the numbers. It all came back, matched my insurance, matched my registration. 3 different cops, 3 different states. None of the cops questioned me. But you have got to put your ish together. Caroline in Fort Worth doesn't have her license, registration, and proof of insurance put together on a laminated card. So Caroline in Fort Worth, I'm going to send you out 5 trifolds. I'm going to send you 5 trifolds in the mail, and I'm going to send you 5 pair of cop cards in the mail. Caroline in Fort Worth, I'm actually going to hit her up as soon as this live stream ends and tell her I covered her video, and I'm going to send her out 5 of each. Manuel Mata, hopefully he's out of jail. He got arrested. Let's watch the rest of this video.
Stop grabbing my dick, dude.
Man,
that's fucking gay, bro. Step back here. What am I being detained for? For what? I'm not sitting on no curb. No, I'm not. What law is that?
There's no law for that.
So once again, I'm just going to pop in here. I'm sorry to interrupt this video. This is not my actual driver's license. I don't stick my actual license in here. I make a photocopy, a laser copy of my license, front and back. I make a laser copy of the back, and then I put that inside of the laminate. I have 3 or 4 of these in my car, one in my visor, one behind my seat, one under a floor mat. In case the one from my visor gets taken out because I have to do something with it and I forget where I put it, I know there's one under my floor mat. I know there's one in the back flap of my seat. I got one in the trunk of my car as well, so that I always have my license, registration, and proof of insurance, because I was in jail with a guy who got arrested for not having his license. Just recently, I was in jail with a guy who was put in jail for not having his license.
Dude. Hey! This traffic is taking a little bit longer than 20 minutes. Oh, they got him on the ground right there. Put him in the car.
They just want to like pull up. That's why I said it's like, but I didn't know it just happened to see it. Well, I didn't know it just happened. I'll get the all the way to cut the ticket. I've already got into the closers. Because it was stuff like this for like 7, 8 years. I just started like 18 years ago. I got it open it. I had to go to a lot of different doctors to get it popped open. But it's good, man. Like I'm all right with all this. So I know these kids. I know. I would be mad too if you had a motherfucker like me. Like I never stepped out of the car. I know what it is. I've already been in court for it. I've already been in so many cases like this.
10 cases.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? I got 10 cases dismissed. Shit like this.
And internal affairs involved.
I heard you feeling. Come on, man. I've already experienced all this. That's why I laugh at it now. What you said was able to But, oh, I know that. That is watered down. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Y'all catching the watered down version of yourself. The past year, it's completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like I'm above certain shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why this was funny. I'm not tripping. Look, I'll be right there in the morning. Right here. They know me. I know they know me. Come on, dog. We all know me. It's weird. Then why, bro?
Why is he still in handcuffs?
It's weird, man. And y'all are on live right now. Y'all on YouTube live.
We've already had people drive by.
Y'all on YouTube live right now. I'm the viewers. That's irrelevant, bro. I can have y'all at past the
Sorry, Melissa. Is it still muted? I'll check again, John D. Nicola. Okay, I think it's unmuted now. Are we unmuted? I think we're unmuted. Okay. This is it's been longer than 20 minutes. Hey, it's been longer than 20 minutes. Yours has been good the whole time. Okay. So I guess his got muted whenever the cops grabbed him. They grabbed him out of the car and said that he was detained for retaliation.
You're being an asshole on the phone. You know what I call that? Being disrespectful politely. That's what I call it. And they train you how to do it. Y'all experts at it. We got trained. Yeah.
Yes.
I know the difference. There's a good one right here. You're a piece of shit. All of it, man. No, you don't have to apologize. It's your nature. It's your habit. You can't deny that. You can't change it. It's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said fuck you.
Why is it taking so long to write my tickets?
You're a scumbag. It's fine. I know it. So you don't want to go to the hospital? No. You want to get checked out? Yeah. We you can get here in a couple minutes. If it's gonna be hold us up longer,
Why are you in cuffs?
I don't know if my veins are fucking out, bro.
Hey, why are you in cuffs?
He said I was being detained, but he didn't tell me
For
why.
what? You have to have reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime to be detained. What's the RAS?
Yeah, he didn't tell me that.
What's the RAS for being detained?
No, he said I was detained on the traffic stop. He said I scared him.
Oh, officer safety.
Did you call your supervisor, loser? Please say no.
What is it? Something versus Sims? What's the thing for pulling somebody out of the car? Sims versus Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania versus Sims. He pulled you out, but why did he put you in handcuffs?
Even supervisor.
Pennsylvania versus Sims.
No. So this is the whole reason, because Caroline in Fort Worth is an absolutely amazing human being. She puts herself out there. I'm not sure if you guys know, but recently she was savagely attacked. Utah Cop Watch is here, everybody. Good to see you, Utah Cop Watch. Appreciate your support. When I was in the dungeon, I saw some of the comments you made, and I want to say thank you. So, couple things. So, number one, it's Pennsylvania versus Mims, but listen, anybody can make that mistake. Anybody can make the mistake. I make that mistake. Sometimes I confuse Supreme Court cases, and I'll explain one case for the different title of another case. It's Pennsylvania versus Mims, 1977, that you have to get out of the car for officer safety, but that's the driver. The case that she was trying to quote is the one that I showed you guys earlier, where the passenger has to get out of the car, and that's going to be Arizona versus Johnson, 2009. It's really easy to make simple mistakes when you have a tyrant standing over the top of you who has a gun and a taser, putting his light in your face. So I don't fault Caroline and Fort Worth at all for not having this information and not knowing this information. It's really hard. I don't have, I used to tell people that I had a near photographic memory. And after being in jail for 4 months, I have to now tell you that that's not true. I don't have anywhere near a photographic memory. I work really, really hard to memorize things that I care a lot about. So I memorized these cases, but unless you sat there and studied them, you're not going to know Arizona versus Johnson off the top of your head. You're just not going to know it, especially when you got a tyrant blazing down on you. And what about if the cop says that he smells something funny? What if he says, I smell something funny? You may think you're going to be able to recall Commonwealth versus Barth from 2021, but you might not. You may 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 not be able to remember. Because when there's a tyrant bearing down on you, it's hard to remember what they said. It's hard to remember what they said. So it is what it is. You have got to work on making sure that you have everything put together for yourself. You have to make sure that you have your license, registration, proof of insurance put together. You have to make sure that you have the trifold up in your visor. I give you this broccoli wad rubber band in the envelope so that you stick it over your visor, so that you put it over the visor. She's saying an incorrect Supreme Court case, but can you fault her? There's a tyrant who they're treating Manuel like total shit. They're treating her like total shit. They're intimidating them. They're putting lights in their cameras. Of course they're going to be disheveled. Of course they are. They're going to go through a hard time. It's going to be difficult.
Pulling somebody out of the car. Sims versus Pennsylvania versus Sims. He pulled you out, but why did he put you in handcuffs?
Even supervisor.
Pennsylvania versus Sims.
The jail.
For what?
Oh, good luck with that.
For what?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah. What's he?
Phone number to put on the ticket, please.
What's he under arrest for?
Interference with public duties. Can I get
Wait
your
a
phone
second.
number?
How can you do that?
Can I get your phone number, please?
I don't have a phone number.
You don't have a phone?
Can you want my email?
What were you filming with earlier?
Well, it's not hooked up. It's just a
sorry?
camera. It's just a camera.
Okay, that's fine.
What
So you're gonna get 3 citations: one for driving without headlights, one for driving without taillights, and one for not being able to provide your
Now
insurance.
the headlights and the taillights are the same, aren't they?
It's two different offenses in my ticket book.
Okay.
So you can take a copy of your insurance up to the courthouse and get that ticket dismissed if you do have insurance. Okay.
So wait a minute. You can't arrest somebody for sitting in. You guys pulled him out for Pennsylvania versus Sims. You didn't have reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime when you pulled him out.
Okay. Here's your copy of the citation.
Are you listening to me?
Instructions on the inside.
You have to have reasonable articulable suspicion of a
Would you
crime.
like to sign it? Ma'am, would you like to sign
I have to sign it, right? What do you mean? Well, see, that's a trick. Because if I don't sign it, you're taking me to jail.
I'm asking you because I already
If
tore
I
it out.
don't sign it, are you taking me to jail?
No, ma'am. Listen, here's what's going on. I already tore it out without asking you to sign it, so I'm asking you if you would like me to put it back in so you can sign it. If you don't want to sign it, that's fine.
So
You don't want to sign? I'm sorry?
You don't have to put it back in.
Okay. All right. Here's your copy of the ticket. There's instructions on how to
how
to
to do
pay.
that.
You have
But
21
sir,
days to get
sir,
it paid. Okay.
You sure you want to do this? Because there's no interference
You're
right
free.
here.
You're free to go.
There's no interference right here, though. Dude, there's no interference.
This is his cigarettes. He
Yes.
asked you to hold on to these, okay?
Yeah.
His lighter.
Does he need the phone?
Huh?
Does he need the
I
phone?
think he said
How
he
can
wanted you to
he?
hold his.
Why is he being arrested for interference if he didn't even get out of the car?
That's gonna be that officer.
Ah. Oh. Does he want his phone?
No.
Yeah. This is bad. He's gonna get sued, huh?
What's his first name again?
Manuel.
Huh?
Manuel.
Hey, boss. Hey, boss.
Hey, you have no reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime.
So here's the other thing that I wanted to touch on. If the cop asks you what your friend's name is, you shouldn't tell them. As a passenger in a car, they can detain you. They can pull you out of the car, put you in torture cuffs, stick you in the back of the cage in their other car. This is all Terry versus Ohio. It's extended in Arizona versus Johnson, but that's what can happen to you. You can be pulled out of that car and stuck in their cop car with torture cuffs on. They can seatbelt you in, do the whole thing like they're going to take you down to the station, but you're not being arrested. That's only detained. When the cop asks you, what's your friend's name? You say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. This is the reason why you hold this bad chicken in your hands. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. That's what you do. That's what you do. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. If they say, hey, what's your friend's name? Since you already have the trifold in your hand, you already are filming him, you just say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You don't have to give your friend's name. My friend's name is right here. And my friend's name is right here. As Press with Ranker says, my friend's name is right here.
Dude, huh?
What's his first name again?
Manuel.
Huh?
Manuel.
Hey, boss. Hey, boss.
Hey, you have no reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. You better.
You can keep her phone.
All right. Okay, so they arrested him for, I don't know, they just took him out of the car and arrested him. That's not smart. That's not good.
So there it is right there. And then the camera died in the end. So there was just so many problems with that. There were so many problems. You know, I could say it a million times. I can't do it for you. Everybody here already agreed that cops are hiding on the side of the road to get you. Put a 1 in the chat if cops are hiding on the side of the road to get you. So whether you have the trifold or the cop card, doesn't matter. You still have got to have yourself put together, license, registration, proof of insurance, ready to go, just like that. You want to have it ready to go just like that. That you have to have it ready to go. You got to have it ready to go. If you don't have your license, registration, and proof of insurance ready to go, well, then your next steps are going to be a lot more difficult because they're going to be able to put undue pressure on you because now you're not complying. Now you are obstructing a government official in their capacities like Manuel was charged with. If you're not going to give him your license, registration, and proof of insurance, they can arrest you for that. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand that it's an arrestable offense. Put a 1 in the chat if you know that it's an arrestable offense for not having your license, your registration, or your proof of insurance. Do you understand that? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand that you can be arrested for not having your driver's license on you. You make a photocopy. You don't stick the actual driver's license in there. You make a photocopy of your driver's license. Make a photocopy of the front. Make a photocopy of the back. Obviously, this says for entertainment purposes only because this is Brad Pitt's driver's license. And then you make sure that you have your registration and your current proof of insurance in a laminated slip or a laminated card. I prefer to put it all in one thing like this so it can just go right inside my trifold. I took the 15 minutes down at FedEx office because I don't have a laminating machine. I took the 15 minutes to do Brad Pitt's driver's license. Why don't you take the 15 minutes to do your own driver's license? Why don't you take your 15 minutes to do your own driver's license? I just don't really understand that part, that you have people who are as qualified and as amazing as Caroline in Fort Worth who don't. There you are, honey. There you are. Caroline in Fort Worth, shoot me an email. Caroline in Fort Worth, I already said to the crowd earlier tonight, I'm going to send you off 5 trifolds. I'm going to send you 5 of these, and I'm going to send you out 5 pairs of cop cards. The first 2 are for you. The next 3 are for people that you want to give them away to in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm going to send you off a few cop cards as well, Caroline in Fort Worth. I'm going to send these out to you. Caroline's got to get prepared. Caroline, you got to get prepared. You got to get your driver's license, insurance, and proof of registration all in a laminated slip. It has to go like this. You have to set it up like this. It has to go like this. Yeah, because they do like to take it and lose it. Then you're screwed because you don't have it anymore, and they deny they have it. She's talking about your driver's license or your insurance or your registration. You want to make sure. And by the way, Caroline in Fort Worth, is Manuel suing them for wrongful arrest? Because he was within his rights to do what he did. Now, originally, so just so you know, let me see if I have your email, Caroline in Fort Worth. I'm going to invite you. I'm going to send you an invite if you want to come on here real quick. Let me just go here. Do I have your email address? You have my phone number, don't you, Caroline? I want to make sure that you have it. I have a couple of questions for you. I have a couple questions. Yeah, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. So Caroline, let me see if I have Caroline in Fort Worth. I don't have her email address. Let me check over here. Let's check her channel real quick. Let's check Caroline in Fort Worth. Let's get her channel. That is my email address. And make sure you guys subscribe to Caroline in Fort Worth. Caroline, I absolutely love you. You were one of the first friends I had on YouTube, and I think the world of you. So I want to make sure that we work together to try to make sure that they can't target you. And I think had Manuel let them know up front that he was well within his rights to curse out the cops using the trifold, I curse cops out, Cohen versus California, 1971. And I think if Manuel had said that it's his right to interrupt, curse out cops, number 2, I curse out cops, cursing out cops. Who in the world? Yes, suing. It got dismissed. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. No, I mean, listen, DZLM, she made a mistake, and it's really easy to do. It is really easy to do. It's easy to make mistakes. It is super easy. It's real easy. I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. If it is really easy to make the mistakes. 1 second. Let me take a look at Caroline and Fort Worth and see if we have got this fly flying around in front of me. Let me see if I can get her email address here, and I'm going to shoot her an email. There, that is Carolina in Fort Worth. Got it. Okay, Carolina in Fort Worth. I'm going to send you an invite right now. Carolina in Fort Worth at gmail.com. There, that is. Got you. Okay, Carolina, if you check your email, I just sent you off an invite so we can ask you a couple of questions. April, thank you so much. April's also one of these people who I've established a relationship with over this past year, who was so squarely on my side when I was in jail, who's such a supporter of Team DLZ and everything that we do. It's just so unbelievable how I feel so lucky to have attracted this group of people, because there's so many good people who come to this channel. I think I saw Drophead in here earlier. Drophead, are you still in here? I'm not sure if I saw Drophead. I saw his comment come up, and then I was talking about something, and I got a little bit lost. The tribe is here. Here's what probable cause is. The law governing this case is elementary, except for a breach of the peace committed in his presence or when he has reasonable ground to believe that the person didn't get it. Claudette is here. Good to see you. Go on panel, girl. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's absolutely hear it. I sent Caroline a link to StreamYard. So I hope that she can come in. I want to show you guys something I saw on police brutality just today, I think. That was 9 hours ago.
All right, David, thanks. Well, the Rankin County Sheriff remains tied to a civil rights lawsuit that's been filed by two men abused at the hands of a group of deputies known as the Goon Squad. The news came today after a federal judge refused to dismiss Sheriff Brian Bailey from the case. 16 WAPT's Kendall Jones has more on the lawsuit that is worth $400 million.
Judge Daniel P. Jordan III denied a request from Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey to dismiss him from a $400 million lawsuit filed by the two victims, Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker, who were tortured by the Goon Squad. The acts all occurring in January on New Year's Day. Jenkins and Parker were beaten, humiliated, and Jenkins was shot in the mouth at a home in Braxton by 5 former Rankin County deputies and 1 former Richland police officer who tried to cover up the ordeal. All 6 pled guilty to state and federal charges and were sentenced to between 15 and 45 years in prison. In the lawsuit, attorneys for Jenkins and Parker argued that Bailey failed to supervise, train, and discipline the deputies. Bailey asked U.S. District Judge Daniel P. Jordan III to dismiss him from the lawsuit, claiming he had qualified immunity, which protects law enforcement officers from accountability if they're accused of violating citizens' rights. In Judge Jordan's ruling, he says while Bailey was not present when Jenkins and Parker were assaulted, the plaintiffs can still file a claim against the sheriff by showing that his conduct deprived them of their rights.
I got a question for you guys, just super quick. I got Caroline backstage. We're going to bring her on. But let me ask you a question. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that this chief or captain or whatever military acronym he's given himself, put a 1 in the chat if you believe he knew what the Goon Squad was doing. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he endorsed it. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he set them up together to be the Goon Squad. Let me put a 1 for me, because I definitely think that this captain, chief, colonel, lieutenant, whatever he is or whatever he says he is, he 100% knew exactly what that Goon Squad. So for the coppers who are watching this, it's not because I call you pigs. It's because of you. Because you endorse and behave in the way that you behave. That's why.
Trent Walker, an attorney representing Jenkins and Parker, said they are pleased with the ruling, saying it was in line with their expectations. A spokesperson with Sheriff Bailey says he has no comment.
That was 16 WAPT's Kendall Jones reporting. Several organizations have called for Sheriff Bailey to resign. The sheriff has previously said that he will not step down.
Of course he won't. Of course he won't. He believes that he believes. Okay, so I got Caroline in Fort Worth here. Carolina, what is going on? How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You look great.
Okay,
How you doing, doll? Nice to
just
see
fixing
you.
to go cop watching.
You're just fixing to go cop watching,
Yeah,
huh?
but that's okay.
How's your face healing up? Can we get a close?
Right around here, around this part right here, it's smashed, and you can wiggle. You know, like when you're a little kid and you can wiggle your teeth, and when you're old, you can wiggle your teeth with your tongue.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
So, like, I have like this bone right here. You can actually wiggle it, and then this is all smashed right here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. It looks all right, but it just doesn't feel good. And I have ringing in my ears. But this is all smashed right here. It's like you can wiggle it. It's really weird. Like you can wiggle it. That's the bone right there.
That's horrible. Now, did you ever get the body cam footage so we can see from a different angle what that copper did to you?
Oh yeah, we got the body cam footage, and we got aerial footage too, like from a security camera.
Do you have that? Have you put that out yet?
Yeah, it's put out. It was put out on some other channels, but like you can see that what he did to me. Like he really. Like,
Is it put out on your channel?
Don't stop on the
Do you know where it's at on your channel?
Yeah, let me see.
If it's on your channel, then I
emailed
definitely
it to somebody just recently.
I definitely will show it. So
Yeah, I
let's
mean,
take-
it's like it's all like body cam footage and the security camera footage. That's belongs to everybody. So you
right.
can't
So,
get copyright struck over.
so this is 2 days ago. I don't know which. Do you know which one it could be?
Oh yeah, let me look. What you got here? I know it's in let's see, Denver Metro Audits one. It's in
Denver
there.
Metro Audits has it on there. Well,
Yeah,
before we go there, what I first want to do is I want to go over a little bit of this right here, and I want to talk.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
You know, so
I when I watched that, I said, I really was hoping you didn't see that.
I've seen most of the videos on your channel. Of course, I
No,
was
but that
gonna
one
see it.
especially because it's like, oh my god, if this goes on DeleteLawZ, it's going to be embarrassing because like I usually do that just to piss them off, right? But like that day, I had just got the car back from the mechanics, so everything was all mixed up in it.
Right. Well, I mean, just so you know, I was in jail with a 21-year-old young man who was in jail specifically for not having a copy of his driver's license on him.
That's some bullshit. They do that.
He had a driver's license,
Yep.
but you didn't have a license, and you didn't have registration, and you didn't have insurance, right?
I had the driver's license. I did have that.
You did have the driver's
Yeah,
license.
the registration. I don't know. I don't think we have to have that in Texas because it's on the sticker, right?
Right. It's stuck right in your window. I used
But
to
the
live in Texas.
insurance, I didn't have the insurance in there because I had taken it out.
And then just to be clear, then at the end of this bad chicken right here, at the end of this video, you know, I'll drop the link for this down in the
You don't
chat.
have to apologize. It's your nature. It's your habit. You can't deny that. You can't change it. It's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said fuck you.
Why
Manuel's exactly correct.
is it taking so long
He's
to write
correct
my
on everything.
ticket?
Manuel is really smart in that kind of stuff.
Well, he should have had to be honest with you, Carolina, he should have had a Fifth Amendment cop card on him. This is the non-driver card. He should have had one of these in his wallet, and he should have informed the cop of his rights and showed him the law in the navy blue. He
Yeah,
should have
but
had
see,
this in his.
That works for a lot of cops, but these guys hate us. We have like it would work for just a regular person that doesn't deal with them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But
I'm not
they
saying that they're not going
know
to charge.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I
they would-
believe you.
But yeah, but that card would work on regular people for sure. With regular people
Well,
for sure.
what it does, just so you know, there's something called the clearly established prong, and
Right.
if he doesn't inform the coppers that you're violating my Fourth Amendment, my First Amendment, my 14th Amendment, if he doesn't show the card and say, "Hey, look, first cop cited, I invoke my right to be press. Turner versus Driver upholds my right to film cops." If he doesn't say that and show the card on camera, then
Yeah.
as you know, when we go to court, just so you know, when he goes to court in
Corporate
Texas, he's going to lose.
Yeah,
That judge,
luckily, yeah, they're bad that way. We've watched them like, oh my gosh, they're bad.
judges are against us. If you haven't
They
noticed,
are. Yeah,
that
we'll see
judge,
what they did to you. Like I was like, oh my god, because like she didn't even follow the law when what she did to you, you know. But she was pretty dumb because like you really did a lot of like chaos in that jail. Like you brought a lot of information out that a lot of people wouldn't bring out, you know. So that was pretty dumb of her for sentencing you, because all the like that thing about staying on the day beds and all that, or staying on you can't do that. That's against the law. You can't make people stay on their beds like you were saying.
well, I'm going to sue the jail for what
Mhm.
they did to me, 100,000%. And I just know this now. Now here's what I learned, Carolina, and I haven't given any interviews yet. I think my first interview is coming up on Nino Boxer on August 5th. Here's what I learned. If the judge can rule against you and the judge can say that you're wrong, they will. Male or female judge, a lot of people are saying it's, because it's a her. I don't see it that way at all. The only way I downgrade a woman's job is if a woman takes a job where she's physically in charge of men. I don't downgrade women lawyers, downgrade women judges. I think they're equal, in some cases better than men, in some cases worse than men. But I don't, the only place that I see that a woman shouldn't be, in my opinion, is when she's physically being in charge of men's physicality. That's where I'm like, no, a woman shouldn't be there. But as far as a
No.
woman judge, I've got no beef with women judges. I have no problem with women judges. I have no problem with women lawyers, women attorneys, women prosecutors.
What they're doing.
I have no problem with women auditors. No problem with women having any job that a man can have, as long as they're not told to be physically dominant over a man where they just can't do it. It's impossible.
Right.
And it's going to get other men in the arena to say, oh, I got to stick up for her because she can't physically take him on, but I can, you know,
Right.
and
that's interference right there.
it creates a tyrannical society. It creates a tyrannical jackboot thug pig society. And that's,
Do you think that women cops should be paid as much as men? I mean, they don't even run as fast.
no, I don't think there should be women cops in the field. That doesn't mean I don't think there should be women cops at all. I'm all for women cops as long as they're not. Go ahead. Sorry.
They shouldn't be in the field. Exactly. You're right.
I just don't think they should be put in a position where they're supposed to be physically in charge of men. I see nothing wrong with women being administrators, supervisors, leaders in any different field. I really don't have any problem with women having superior roles. Kamala Harris is running for president. I don't have a problem with Kamala Harris running for president. I'm not going to vote for her, but I have no problem with her running for president. So I'm just saying, but what I do have a problem with is when they put women in a position where they're supposed to be physically in charge of men, and they have put men in the position to back up women, because then as soon as the male doesn't behave or do what the woman tells him to do, then you get this chivalrous guy who's going to come in with a taser or a gun or a stick and hurt that guy.
Yeah.
So that's, I just want to be clear about that. While I can't stand Ann Zimmerman, she's biased, unprincipled, and I think she's a bad person. I don't think she did what she did just because she's a woman or it's the wrong time of the month. I've heard that in my comment section 1,000 times. I don't believe any of those things. I think she did what's that?
Why do you think she did it?
Because she could.
Because she could, or because she was dumb?
I've talked to 4 different lawyers to sue her.
Right.
All 4 of them tell me I lose.
You have to get I know. I have a lawyer for you.
If you have a civil rights attorney that will
a brand new one.
All 4 lawyers I've had that I've talked to, all 4 huge lawyers, huge names, they've all said I lose against the judge. I win against the cop. I win against the jail. But against the judge, she has judicial qualified immunity. So
well, yeah, that could be part of it. She probably has unlimited qualified immunity. You're right about that. That's probably true. It's not fair, but that's probably true.
But here was the whole point. Carolina, you have got to use the materials I created. I'll give them to you 100% for free.
I was hoping you wouldn't see that one.
No, listen, I mean, how far we go back to the beginning of my YouTube.
Totally disorganized. I go pay my tickets the day after they're due and everything. And I always tell people this is really organized, but I don't know if I can be organized like this.
Well, I mean, just so people know, because people don't know the history of our relationship, but you were one of the first people who came on and supported me and said, I support Chille. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I remember. It was a long time ago.
I
you know what? I popped out when you got arrested too. So, and you know who else popped out? James Freeman did.
I know he did. And just so you know, Carolina, James Freeman and I had a few phone calls when I was in the jail. I called him up and I talked to him. And
he took your phone call, not mine?
Yeah. Well, all I know is that when I called him, we had a very cordial, honest, fair conversation. I apologized for being too much. He apologized for being mean to me. And we both said we were sorry for the roles we played in having some stupid beef when we're on the same side.
Right. Well, we have differences,
Sure, we're gonna have differences, but at the same time, we need to unite as a group, as independent journalists. And I've created an organization to unite us. It's a dues-paying membership organization that eventually will start to pay out dividends to people who go out. So, for example, right now, we needed somebody. Big Mike Audits up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is going up and covering Press with Rancor's trial. He's sitting in the courtroom, and so we have people now, and I'm paying his gas money. I'm giving him gas money. I'm paying Big Mike Audits gas money. And he's putting in.
I have relatives in the Upper Peninsula. I hate to say it.
Well, then get them up to the trial tomorrow. If you can get people up to that trial.
They're not blue. I mean, they're still blue. They're like, everybody up there is blue. Everybody.
Oh, so when she says blue, by the way, which I tried to explain to my friend Dennis Sperling and his predominantly Black male audience, when you come to coppers, Black, Mexican, Asian, white, Filipino, Hispanic, they're all blue. They're not that race. They are blue. Blue.
I've talked to people about that too.
Yeah, I mean 100%.
They're not black anymore. They're blue. And they'll go with the white blue guys. They won't come with the black people that they grew up with.
That's right. You know, Carolina, let me just tell you, I know you got that little tiny black eye left, but you can hardly see it. And
I got a little bit right here.
A little bit, but you look beautiful. You can't see it. It has not affected your physicality at all. Thank you, Vigilant.
Dude, I thought, I've never been knocked out before. Have you ever been knocked out?
By a horse when I was 17.
Did you? Wow. But
I fought a lot of guys. What's that?
How long were you knocked out for?
About 10 seconds.
I was knocked out for over an hour. I have no idea I don't know if my arm got broken when that came out of socket. I don't know if he did it when he threw me down or if he lifted me up on my handcuffs at the end and didn't believe I was knocked out,
Wow. Where so I mean
that hurts bad. My arm really still hurts.
The video, I can watch the video on Denver Metro Audits. That's where it's at.
Yeah, I put one in private chat there for you too.
You put one in private chat there or
private chat. One's to the civil rights attorney, and then one's to I think a news story.
Okay, so I got a video here. It's an hour and 40.
Whatever.
It's an hour and 43 minutes. I don't know if this is your video or not, but it says this says Fort Worth. I want to see another angle of that copper attacking you. Is this your video?
No, that's Denver Metro Audits, but I don't know if he has it in. Yeah, there it is. There's a security camera right there.
Okay, so this is
it right there. Oh, that's the end of it. I'm already snoring.
Caroline, we're busy. Go to the other side of the street.
Here goes.
You can go.
There's no investigation. There's no nothing.
You can go to the other side of the street or you're going to get arrested. I'm not warning you again.
What are you talking about?
Go to the other side of the street right now.
Wait, tell me
So
why.
he already knows who you are, right, Carolina?
Yeah, we had a conversation. We had a conversation like 3 months before that, and we talked about interference.
You're under arrest. Turn around. Stop.
Oh my God. Oh, I see what they did to you. Okay, so she's standing right there. We're gonna go, as you know. I know Carolina.
I did put my hand behind my back for him.
You are old school here. You've been around for a while. She's been with Team DLZ for a long time. But what we do here is we slow it down to 0.25% and go frame by frame. So now she's standing there. She puts her arms behind her back.
I did. I was saying no, and at the same time I was putting my arm behind my back, even though I was saying no.
Okay, so as you're saying no, 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 you're putting your arms behind your back. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and now I can't see. Okay, so there's an arm. Okay, so they're pulling your arms back. I mean, look how hard he's got her wrist. You know, in a lot of countries, they don't put people in torture cuffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so she has her. What is that thing called again? Your gyro. What's it called?
Gimbo.
Your
the gimbo.
A gimbo. I forget the name too. Okay, cool. And then what happened? How do you go down right here?
That's the whole thing. From what I understand, is that he did a judo thing on me, like he pulled both my arms at the same time. That's his body cam footage. You can see it better from the security camera on top, but he had both my arms at the same time.
Oh, so there's no protection for your head. You're gonna hit. You're gonna hit head first.
Yes, my eye first. It hit like my eye, and my cheek first.
Oof.
But I had my hand behind my back already. Now he's telling me not to resist.
Is this the same?
Then the body cam footage stops because that's the part I don't know. I don't know if I got lifted.
Where is the security camera from above? That's what I want.
It was right before that.
Oh, so okay.
It's right before that. Just right before that. But
Okay,
see, I got charged 4 charges. The first charge was false reporting.
Okay, there you are right there. Let me
right there. That's
let me zoom in on this. Okay.
That's it.
So we see you there. Is this where he's gonna face plant you onto the ground?
No, I still have a ways to go. The news people were saying that I was walking up on these girls, but I was zoomed in on them. See the two girls.
But you're still 10 feet away. Glick versus Cuniff, as you heard from my
when
case.
I was standing over there, I said they walked by me and ignored me. I hate it when they do that. So I went fire, 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 fire. I said, "See, audience, they still ignore me." Well, I got charged with false reporting because I said fire.
Well, yeah, because Carolina, that's the direct holding. That's the direct holding. You can't scream fire in Cynic versus United States, 1919.
But I mean, they were ignoring me, you know, so I was just like, fire, fire. See, audience, they don't even look at me when I yell fire.
No, the actual holding of Cynic says that you can't scream fire.
Outside of a theater that's not crowded.
Right, inside of a busy crowd. You were outside. I understand. Listen, I didn't invite you in here to cut you down or to beat you up.
No, I know. I'm just telling you.
You know that. She's been around. She's been my friend since I was on TikTok.
That's what they used to get me. Was that what you were talking about?
Right.
But
So
they dropped that charge, and then I got evasion. How am I evading?
I'm not sure, but here she is right here. She's walking up to the coppers, and okay, so this is where the cop's going to face plant you.
Yep, right
over
here. You can tell it's a car right
so
there.
Look at the size of him. How big is that guy?
He's tall. He's really big.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tells her, Carolina, get out of here, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, you're not doing anything. There's no investigation here. You're just towing the cars off.
That's what you said to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you're not. She even says you're just towing the cars away. You can see her arm extend.
And then I go. Well, first, just tell me why. And that's when he said, "You're under arrest," and threw me down. Like I didn't say I'm not going. I just said, first, tell me why, because I didn't think it was a lawful order.
Well, I don't think it was a lawful order either. But let's see what happens here. So now we have it at 0.25% here. We're going super slow.
I haven't done this with anybody, by the way.
Okay, so here he goes to grab her. Her arm goes behind her back. She has her gimbal in her other hand, so she's just trying to protect her camera a little bit. Look at the other cops ready to join in.
Behind my back already. See it?
Right. What? But see, let's. Before we see you get head planted right here, what is the point in grabbing her and cuffing her up? What danger did you pose to the cops?
You know, he knew me. We've had conversations. The girls knew who I was. You know, that's why they told me to know me.
Tell me though, right now, what danger did you pose? Did you pose a danger to the police?
No.
Did you threaten to hurt anybody previously to this interaction?
Never. Nope.
Okay. So he knows you're a First Amendment auditor. He knows you're a journalist. This is the reason why I put together an organization for independent journalists. You're going to love it, Carolina. You're going to absolutely love it. We all have to join it. Okay,
but what a lot of people don't know is that he had pulled a gun on Manuel Mata for jaywalking, right? And that case got dismissed 3 days before this.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
so he was kind of mad about that.
And Manuel's charges were dropped. But let's watch this real quick. So grabs you by the arms. Okay, now he jerks your right arm. And as he lifts up your left, I see what he did. He pulled your...
Even when you go slow, it's still fast.
Wow. He really tried. He really did a good job in hurting you here.
Yeah. And after we had that conversation too, it's really surprising to me that I recorded and put up. Look how fast it goes even when you're slowed down.
Yeah, you went pretty fast. Let's check it out in regular speed just real fast so we can see.
I mean, I didn't know anything until I woke up chained to a bed, which, you know, it wasn't a pleasure kind of way of being chained.
Oh, he whipped you. He jerked your arm.
Both of them at the same time is what somebody told me.
As you pull your arms, he's pulling your arms behind your back. And then
one was already behind there. The one that didn't have the gimbal.
He threw you down and to the ground as he's pulled both your wrists back so you couldn't defend yourself.
And I flipped too, because like my feet are ended up like against, like my feet are over there facing the wall now, which is kind of weird.
So now as you're knocked out and bleeding, he puts the torture cuffs on you.
Yes. Tells me not to resist. And that's the last charge I have left is just the resisting charge. That's the only one they're trying to get me for, resisting.
Well, where's the resisting though? Let's see from the beginning. She walks up, she's walking up. So where's the, of course you're in Texas, Arizona, Nevada, they're all, so she says, go over there, get out of here. And she says, but why are you doing anything? You're just towing the cars away anyway.
Right. And you know, the girl, I said, what's going on? And the girl started to tell me what was going on. She was right halfway mid-sentence when he grabbed me.
That is just preposterous. That was just preposterous.
He did it to 2 other people at his last job.
where he face planted them and hurt their face?
Well, they were, one was pulled out of a car and the other one was thrown on the ground. That's two separate times. And he was fired from the Irving Police Department for doing
Wow.
that. But I'm telling you, here's another thing too. If I had just, like, I used to be a school teacher, right? If I was still a school teacher and this happened to me, right? Like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, he'd be fired.
Oh, yeah.
Because of what we are. Now, I'm the bad guy all of a sudden. I'm the bad guy for this, you know? Like, why is he not on trial? You know, I asked to get my phone back. I asked to get my gimbal back to the guy who had it, the detective. And he goes, oh, no, we're needing it for the investigation. I said, well, who are you investigating, me or him? And he goes, that's it. I'm not talking to you anymore. And he hung up on me. But, like, he would, I mean, why am I the bad guy?
No. So real quick question here. Who has led you to believe that you're the bad guy?
I think that, well, on one news station, when it first came out, they were saying that he asked me several times and I just ignored him, like to go across the street. Then he asked me numerous times and I totally disobeyed him. And that I was walking up on the girls and just, you know, like I was instigating everything. And so a lot of people hear that and they don't even watch the video. They just think that about us, that we're instigators, that we're just don't let people do their jobs, etc. That they have this bad taste about us. You know that. So, but a lot of people who are blue are coming up to me and saying, wow, I can't believe that happened to you. So, but the thing is why does he still have his job? Why is he still like there working after what he did at his last job? And now he's doing this time, but he still has his job. That's why I'm saying, why am I the bad guy? You know, because that's not de-escalation. That was just totally like, I'm wondering if he really thought he was really going to knock me out. He might have just been trying to hurt me, but either way, I didn't even get a chance. Like, I never know when I'm going to get arrested ever. It happens a lot, but I never expected that. I wasn't even afraid of him.
No, I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. And then for the news media to portray you as you being some sort of bad guy, that's just not true. Just so everybody here knows, she's not the bad guy. So now what's next, Carolina? What happens next?
I jumped right back into the saddle. I went out cop watching with black eyes because I didn't want them to know that they beat me. I didn't want them to think that they beat me. So, and I'm going to sue. I'm suing just like you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm suing because maybe if they have to start paying out more money than what their operating costs are, maybe that'll create some change if everybody would sue, you know? So.
Yeah. I mean, well, maybe. I just don't know. I've been trying hard to believe that suing is going to make a difference, but the simple truth is that it hasn't made much of a difference so far. And so I think that the only way that we're going to be able to enact change is for one of us to get into the governor's mansion, into executive power, even as just a legislator in the state or Fed, and then write legislation that gets into committee. Over the next 6 months, I'm going to be producing a series of videos that show the changes that I believe that could be implemented today. I'll start with this weekend. I'm shooting a video this weekend to show that you don't need to arrest people right now. They don't need to be arrested right now.
Right.
You don't need to arrest anybody right this second.
I think that what's caused all this really is the new Jim Crow laws. You know what Jim Crow laws are, right?
Of course.
Okay. We have new Jim Crow laws, and that was when they started to do mass incarcerations. And they've targeted blacks to do that because we should not have 50% of the jail population black when only 13% are out walking around. That doesn't make sense. So because they were already segregated, coming off the segregation, coming off the Jim Crow laws that are supposedly over with now, right? They were already segregated, so it was really easy to police just the black neighborhoods, really, because they're already contained in one spot. And it was a lot of laws that they put out right now are designed to hurt the black person for reals. I mean, if you look at
hurt us all. Yeah, hurt us all.
And the way that they don't, the way they keep them uneducated, because like in Texas, you get money for your school if you do really well on the tax test. So if you do really bad on a tax test, you don't get any money when they should be putting the money into the places that, you know, that need the money, right? So if you look at a black neighborhood, just if you're typical, if you still have them, what do you have in the black neighborhoods? You have predatory businesses. You have the pawn shops. You have the Family Dollar and the Little Caesars, but you don't have a good grocery store. You don't have the banks. You have the used car lots that are cash cars, but you don't have like a good industry or bubble, and you don't have transportation to go to where the jobs are if you're black. And a lot of people think, oh, it's just a choice. It's not a choice because the way the laws and everything are set up, it's just kind of, you're stuck in that bird cage. It's like a bird cage you're stuck in. You just can't get out. So a lot of it's
a lot of people will say that, oh, you're just pulling the race card. You're just saying that it's just about the blacks.
Right. But it's about the lower social and economics too. I'm saying blacks because that's the problem that we have here in Fort Worth. But if you're in Alabama, it's going to be the lower social economic people too. Because, one time I was sitting in, I got
or white people.
Yeah, I got, that behind the benches, they have like jail cells in courts? Yeah, well, I was sitting in one of those one day.
Do I know
all
that?
Day. I sat in one of those and I was sitting there from like 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. But all I saw in the other cells that were around me were the lawyers running back and doing a plea deal and going back out. These were people that were in uniforms.
Right.
You never even got to go out in the courtroom to be a person. They were stuck in a jail cell and the lawyer would come back and make deals. Now you better take it, or you're gonna, get 25 years if you go to court. So they take the plea bargain, and that's another thing that we do to the blacks too. Well, not we, me and you.
But it's funny. There's a couple comments here. Stacy said it's all of us, and then the Vigilant Committee of Cliff Williams said we're all in an open air prison, and you talk about what's happening in the Middle East, that there's this never ending battle between the Palestinians and Israelis, and it's not going to get any better. It's not going to change it. Why is it not going to change? Because the policies won't be changed. And so that's what I believe is going to happen. The same thing here. As long as the policies of the cops don't change, as long as we don't change their policies, we're going to end up in an outright civil war one day, because people are so tired of being lost. And right now it's only 1%, 0.78% of the population is locked up in dungeons. When you double that number to get 1.52%, pretty soon you're going to have good people who are going to say, I'm sick of these cops and I want to do something about it.
Right.
And that's where we have to get policy changed before it turns to violence. I want to show you something, Carolina.
Awareness first, though. You got to bring awareness first, because people think that if somebody went to prison, that, they must have done something wrong to go.
Oh, but I was just put in jail for 4 months, and everybody here knows.
You must have done something.
Oh man, I got friends and family right now who still say, well, come on, man, what'd you do? What'd you do? They don't watch my channel. They're not tuned into YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. And they're like, oh no, you must have done something. No, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I want to show you something. You know how earlier you said that if you call out the cops, then you're bad. It's funny because I interviewed this guy in 2020 when I was on TikTok. And then today I saw him live. I sent him a super chat because I called him a demon. I called him a demon. I did. I called him a demon. I said, you were a demon, because he was a cop and he quit being a cop. But I said, so you were a demon. And he's a big time God religious guy. And so I called him a demon. He hasn't talked to me since. So now if you watch his videos, he calls cops bastards and pigs and mothers, and he calls them every single name that you and I call them. But then I sent him a super chat today and said, hey, come on, because he's got like he's got like 45,000 subscribers. And so I said, look, come on and let's,
There you go. Bleeding Blue said, I can't understand the bootlickers of the thoughts. DeleteLawZ. Man, you know what, Chille? I don't like you. I appreciate the donation, but Chille, you are your own worst enemy. I appreciate your watching, but Chille, and I'll say this to you. I said this about you. ChilleDeCastro, who's watching DeleteLawZ, I think could have made one of the biggest differences in criminal justice today if he really wanted to.
How?
The incessant insulting just to trying to get the goad of cops out there to prove bad behavior and not doing any pre or post education on what you were doing is it's ambulance chasing. It's sensationalizing it. And you don't listen either, because when we did a podcast, you didn't want to hear shit when I started to correct you about stuff that I disagreed. No, you're wrong. And that's your personality. I get it. I have a lot of it too.
So let me clarify what I said to Dominic Izzo when I said, no, just stop right there. When he said that chokeholds are unnecessary, evil on TikTok. I have the video. It's still on my, I have it on my YouTube channel when he said that chokeholds or neck restraints or throat restraints, I'm not sure how he put it, they're still a necessary evil. And I said, no. That's not going to fly in front of me. I'm going to stop you here and say, I strongly, completely, 100% disagree with you. And then, you know, I think I mentioned at the end, I said, you know, you used to be a demon. And then I saw more of his videos. He's deeply religious. So he hasn't talked to me since I called him a demon. So I actually sent him a text message and an email. And I said, hey man, I shouldn't have said that. I don't think you're a demon. A lot of cops, a lot of ex jail guards, ex prison guards, as soon as they get out of that dark Death Star, they see the light and they go, man, I was wrong. What I was doing was wrong. I got a good Instagram friend who is an ex prison guard who has seen the light. And so I know he's not a demon. I know he, you know, but when they're in that, they're doing evil.
Well, they're doing evil because of the ego. It's actually because of the ego. So the chokehold, most of the time, like their manuals, you know how they have like store we had store manuals when we like were in stores, like working in stores. They also have manuals. And one of the manuals is like, they have to make the person comply in any way they can. So chokehold is one of the ways they want them to comply.
So Carolina, I'm so glad that you said that, because what I'm going to be doing this next week or two, I'm going to be producing a series of videos that show that you do not need to get people to comply with your every single whim. Even as a peace officer, you don't need to. But what I can't do right now is do all the peace officers' uniforms in white and yellow. The peace officers' vehicles should be in white and yellow. There should be no more hiding on the side of the road. The term law enforcement should be wiped away. The badge itself should change to a peace symbol because they are peace officers. There's so many things that could be done and should be done.
But they can't stop. It's just like you showed the video the other day where the lady got went through the windshield and died because the other one just couldn't take no for the answer. The one that's chasing.
Right.
Car chase.
Right. Where she pit maneuvered her at 110 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep. Yeah.
So what's next for you, Carolina? What's up with your charges? Number one.
Okay, so I got three of them were just dropped, and I have one left. It's resisting arrest. So I think that one's going to get dropped pretty easily too. It should be dropped.
Don't stop on no bed.
Is that you?
No, my video started playing in the background. I'd go over and pause it real quick. Sorry about that.
So I'm also working on one.
3 of the charges were dropped. Let me just clarify that.
I just have resisting left.
So you just have resisting left. But what's really funny is that when we take a look at this video, we can clearly see that you were not resisting at all whatsoever.
Why they left it?
That he whipped you and jerked you. There's 3 camera angles: his body cam, the above cam, and then your camera. You weren't resisting at all.
The above camera was a godsend because it just really shows that there was nothing going on. There was nothing I was interfering with.
Right. Okay. So that's one part of it. Then the second part of it is you're going to be suing the county and the Fort Worth Police Department, because you can't sue a state. If people don't know that, I can't sue the state of Nevada. You can't sue the state of California. That's the 11th Amendment.
Yes, to the city and the guys.
Well, and just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying earlier, the 11th Amendment was passed. How come? Why? So that African countries couldn't sue states for importing slaves.
Right.
That's why we have the 11th Amendment. You can do your own research on it, but that's the reason why the 11th Amendment exists. Now, originally it was for different reasons, but then when all the senators and House of Representatives got together, they said, well, look, what happens if people from Africa start to sue for their loved ones coming over here and being enslaved? And so that's what was the catalyst for the 11th Amendment. So it absolutely sucks to say these things because I'm a fairly conservative person, but at the same time, the truth is the truth. And that is the truth. Right. So now when you talk about suing Fort Worth and the county there, do you have a lawyer set up? And
yes, what I'm going to hook you up with, he's out of Colorado, but he can still do federal suits. But what really pissed me off though is because I had one of the people came in, one of the people, brassy people, but I was so drunk. I mean, I was just so messed up. And I begged him, I said, I do not want to go to jail. I didn't do anything wrong. Don't send me to jail. And he goes, okay, I'll go see what I can do. And then an hour later, they're dragging me out of the bed and taking me to jail. Right. I wasn't in the emergency room long enough for them to finish everything that they were doing either. But there were so many people that came in and looked at me like I was some kind of monkey, like so many freaking cops. I mean, I could see them sometimes and not see them other times because they had me really drugged up. But they were just like coming in, like saying, like to me, they're coming in to gloat. You know.
How many cops were at the hospital when you were in
I had
the hospital?
one lady that was there that was sitting with me, right? As soon as I woke up, that's when they gave me some fentanyl. Wow, that was some crazy stuff. And they pumped my arms back in the joint. So I don't know. I've been laying there the whole time with my shoulder and my elbow. So it really still hurts.
Oh, so this is an injury. Does everybody know about this injury that you had? Or
Not a lot
this
of people know about it, but yeah, that really hurts. I can't now like, see, I can take this arm right here and do all this. I can't do this with my other arm anymore.
This is the first time I'm hearing this. Your shoulder was dislocated
my
from
shoulder
him.
and my elbow. My elbow was worse. My shoulder was just barely out, but my elbow was like flopped, like it was flopping, like a, you know. So I don't know how it got pulled out of joint. I don't know, like, did it happen when he handcuffed me? Did it happen when maybe he lifted me up on my handcuffs after?
Well,
how did
Carolina, your body is not meant to be jerked by someone who outweighs you by 100 pounds and has man strength. Women are not supposed to take on men physically. They're not supposed to be attacked by men physically.
Right.
You know, it just reminds me of the Myra Blackwell case, you know, when she sued to become an attorney and the Supreme Court laughed at her and said, you can't become an attorney. And so now now what we're looking at is where men can attack women and they put women in the position to fight men. And it's supposed to be some sort of norm. And it's, you know, you were attacked. You were savagely attacked.
I couldn't defend myself on that.
Yeah. And then let's just talk about this. So let's talk about getting you the trifolds and the cop cards, because you not having your stuff to get.
You're driving
The reason why I don't give it to you is sometimes I hope like say I'm speeding and I don't get my driver because my. Are you sure I have my lights on? Oh, I didn't have my lights on.
Do you have a driver's license, please?
I have it in the back. Do you want me to reach for it, Officer Macy? Badge number.
That's fine. Do you have a proof of insurance?
Yeah, I have proof of insurance. No, I don't have proof of insurance with me.
Can you have proof of insurance, please?
I don't think I have proof of insurance.
Okay, so that's the whole point right there.
Mm-hmm.
How can I help you?
You could come to if you guys could see my house, you could help me with the whole house. If you can help me with this trifold thing, I don't know. Like,
I've got the trifolds for you. I've got the cop cards for you. How do I get you to go down to Fed?
Cleaning some kind of cards for that.
Listen, I have a great idea. I have a great idea. I'm going to send you $200 worth of value for the stuff that I sell for free. And for the $200 worth of value, what I would like for you to do, and this is only a request, I'm not telling you what to do. You can say no. I'll still give you the materials. I want you to make a video of going down to Kinko's and saying, here's my license, here's my registration, here's my proof of insurance. I'm going to get copies of this. I'm going to laminate this. I'm going to take a copy of my driver's license front and back. I want you to make a video for me.
I've never been that organized. I'm a last minute girl. Kind of thing.
I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the laminating. I'll pay for the copies.
But what happens like when I have it up on the thing you said, and then like I have to use the mirror right there? It's gonna fall down.
Well, you can have one under your floor mat. You can have one in the side of your door. You can have one in your console. You can have one on the passenger seat in the console over there. I just don't want to see, because listen, Carolina, I'm not kidding with you.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a joke. I'm not just making up hyperbole.
In a different town, it'll work for sure. Anywhere but Fort Worth. So yeah, I'll get it done.
There was a 21-year-old guy in jail right next to me, bunkmates. Matter of fact, he gave me his blanket.
Ridiculous.
He gave me his blanket.
That's ridiculous. Oh, that was nice of him.
His name was Juanito.
Dude, there's so many stories I can bring you from jail. It's not even funny. So
How
sad.
long were you in jail for?
I was, this is the weirdest thing is that they rushed me in and rushed me out because they take you to the city jail first, right? But they don't have any way of feeding you or giving you medicine there. So they rushed me over to the county jail really quick. Most people have to get out. Like here we have a really long wait. It takes like 4 days to get out of jail, even after you pay. I got out in like 2 days. Amazing.
So did you rewind? Did you just say it takes 4 days to get out of jail even after you pay?
And I've been working on this too. A lot of people say, oh, you need to do some other stuff rather than just show videos. No, what they're doing is they're scamming. What they're doing is they're putting anytime I get a PR bond, they put a uniform on me. They send me up to the pod. They send me up there for a day, and they send me up there like at 10 minutes to midnight. And then they get me out 10 minutes after midnight. That counts for 2 days. And they're getting money from the state. Now that's robbing Peter to pay Paul too. So it's really not free money that they're getting, but they are. So they keep you there as long as possible.
It's about the money. The
It's all about
jailers,
the money.
they did the same thing to me, Carolina, and they tried to keep me. They tried to say that only one of my charges was overturned, so I needed to finish my sentence.
Bullshit.
I got Roger Lane coming through as usual. He comes in and starts gifting out 10, 15, 20 memberships at
That's
a time.
nice. Thank you, Roger Lane, for doing that for people, because people like me need it.
Well, I mean, so the lawyer is taking your case on contingency, your federal civil rights attorney?
Now, another one that I had for another deal did not. And I lost a lot of money on that one. So I'm not going to tell you who that was.
No, but hold on. Let's stay on the jail real quick. Thank you, Roger Lane. I appreciate the gifting
So I've been
membership.
working a lot on our jail too, because we've had more deaths than any other jail in the history of Texas, and it's all because they don't know how to do. Do you know what like they do? They call an extraction, where they have extraction teams that take people out of their jail cells. Well, during our extraction team, they were taught to kneel on the back of the guy, and they've killed a couple people that way and couldn't figure out how they died. So.
They're killing people because in the jail system, though, in California, I don't know the exact case, but the California jail system was sued for keeping people in jail after they were bailed out or after the judge released them on their own recognizance. And now when I was in jail in 2016 in LA County, I was released from jail and I had to be released within 4 hours because there's a court case that said you had to be released within a certain period of time because the jails are grifting. Most of the jails are privately owned. So if it takes you 4 days to get out of the jail, it's because the jails are privately owned and they want to charge the state for 4 more days for keeping you.
This is a county jail, but they're still charging the state.
Well, who owns the county jail though?
For the people.
Oh, no.
No, we don't know. It's not. It's owned by the county. I promise you.
Well, you look this up. You know who the owners are?
No, I thought it was.
Wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Wait. There might be a crack and a crevice here where somebody owns that jail.
You mean maybe property or something?
Yes, an organization owns that jail. They subcontract out the state workers. They get the right permits and licenses, and then they farm in the food. They see what it costs them to do the food. Then they add their profit on. And most of the jails in America are owned by a corporation or by a person.
Now, the city jail is ran by a private corporation. They did that, but I didn't know the corporate. I didn't know the jail. That could be true. That could be so true.
I don't know for a fact yours is.
Right, but it happens.
The information I'm getting so far right now with Clark County Detention Center, where I was housed, is that it's owned by a corporation.
Are you just finding this out? Because I didn't know about this. Oh, this is good. This is golden. Because they have the ankle monitors for pretrial. They let them have a whole big old suite of offices in the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
So same kind of deal.
Interesting. You know, the ankle monitors can change now with Apple AirTags. Now that we have AirTags, you don't need those ankle monitors anymore. But it's a great big business. And so they're trying to make as much money as they can. They want more money. Pre-trial? That's the scam?
Pre-trial. Oh, yeah, that's a big scam.
So, all right. So can I get you to do it? Can I get you to go down and get your license, registration, and proof of insurance put together properly? And this is not my, that's not my actual driver's license. That's a photocopy of a driver's license. You can do a photocopy of the front and back. I just want to see someone else jump on the bandwagon here so that we can change these.
If you don't know the cop, and if you're like, if I was like out of town and somewhere else, it would be a great idea.
Well, you make the video and I'll promote it and I'll put it on here. I'll rip your video down and I'll talk about it. And then can you email me back? Email me your full mailing address so I can send you off 5 trifolds and 5 sets of cop cards. Sure. I will send these out to you tomorrow. You will get them tomorrow and then you'll have them.
And I had another idea too, before I forgot, I wrote it down too. I'm thinking too about the jail problem, because we're now going to be having self-driving cars that we won't need as many patrol people out there. And that might be a way to cut back on the badness of the cops. Does that make sense? Like
as long as a cop can say he's reasonably suspicious of you, as long as that's a possibility.
But we won't need as many.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, as long as there's Terry versus Ohio, as long as Terry still exists and cops can say, I'm suspicious of that car. it won't matter who's driving it. It doesn't matter if the car's autonomous. If a copper can say he's suspicious and then act on that suspicion without probable cause, we're going to live in a tyrannical police state, prison state, death state. It's just that simple. That's what we're going to live on.
They don't look at the body cam footage. They just look at what the officer writes. It's so unfair the way that sometimes they'll throw our cameras out. They won't even take ours as evidence. A lot of judges throw our evidence out.
Well, they're hiding it, they're deleting it, they're omitting it, they're editing it, and so we got to get the body cam taken out of their hands altogether. We need a third party agency that collects the body cam footage and the dash cam.
That would be a good one too.
I'm writing a book called Segregation Over Incarceration, and the book Segregation Over Incarceration it lists all the ideas that I have in writing, so that people can get the book, read it, and understand where my thinking exists.
Yeah, we need a book because your thinking is like this sometimes too, like mine. So it's like everywhere.
Yeah, there's just a lot of different thoughts that I expound on here in video, but they need to be written down in one solid book, which I've already written 400 pages. So it's almost done. It's almost done. I have to force myself to continue to read books as I was reading in the prison, in the jail. I have to force myself to continue reading, and it's been hard. Beth said that self-driving cars are a myth because in the Tesla, a buddy of mine's got a Tesla. There's cameras that watch you, and if you don't put your hand on the steering wheel every 10 seconds or so, the car will beep 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 beep, which it sucks. I want a self-driving car. I'm sorry that I say Ben. I meant Ben, not Ben.
Chille, have you thought of how to get them to like, okay, so you have an incident happen and 20 of them show up. Well, if 20 of them are showing up to one little incident, that means that there's not enough crime to go around for everybody to be working that night. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how do we get them to what an easy job they have. They just sit around and wait for a call.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or they call dodge it. So they don't even have to get to it. And they only solve 20% of the property crimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't have any incentives to do a good job.
Well, there's no penalties to punish them for doing a bad job.
Right.
And they fear the guy above them and they pick on the guy below them. Being a cop is one of the worst jobs you could possibly pick because it's a pecking order system based on the amount of time you've been there in the hierarchy. So there's someone who's above you that's been there for 5 years and you've been there for 3, but that person may always be your superior. Because it's not about your merit, what you offer. It's not about the quality of the product that you created where you can piggyback over people. It's about how long you've been in the hierarchy and how well you follow orders. And if you're willing to do as you're told, shackle people, beat people, chain people, torture people. If you're willing to treat people horribly and consistently and always back their thin blue line, well, then you're not going to have that many problems and you're going to go up in the hierarchy rather quickly. Whereas if you in any way, shape or form, buck the policy, procedures or protocols or challenge the person above you in any way, then you're not going to be promoted.
Mm-hmm. No, that's where a lot of people that work in internal affairs are because they couldn't get along with the people that they were working with.
I'm not sure about that, but I know that internal affairs is just cops for cops. It's just cops for cops. I mean, just so you know, BZ Watchdog and Michael Eline from Ask Michael Eline, they did a deep dive into the Citizen Review Board in Las Vegas, Nevada. And they found that it's absolutely, from the research that they've done, they're reporting to me that it is a total scam, fraud. It's garbage. I think 1 out of 700, 800 cases or something like that, we found where the cop did wrongdoing. I pulled 10 cases. I asked the Las Vegas Review Board to send me the last 10 cases. They sent them to me. All 10 cops were exonerated into 10 cases they sent to me.
BC needs to look at Fort Worth. Our Citizen Review Board was handpicked by the chief. Yeah. And they didn't even ask me. I thought for sure I'd be picked for that.
It's just unbelievable. It's just so unbelievable. You know,
Sad things happened in Las Vegas. We had the Martinez young man, Juan Martinez, who was a cop watcher, and he got in some trouble for nothing.
Martinez, that's right. What was his first name again?
I think was it Juan?
Juan?
Joe?
Yeah.
Martinez?
And there was a cop, and that was the cop who targeted Bobby Law as well.
Yeah, and he got sent back to prison because they came and did a check on his house, and he got put back into prison because of weapons, because they had a fireplace poker and they had a softball bat in his sister's room. So he had to go back to prison for those
Martinez is back in prison now?
He went back that day. I don't know if he's still in there.
No, I think he's out. I've talked to him. I've
I
spoken
mean,
to him.
He's like, that's it. That's just like targeting. You just, I don't know how people make it. They got to break. And, that's what they were trying to do to Manuel for a while, but he never broke.
Mm-hmm. Manuel Mata. And the charges against him were dismissed already?
Yeah, that one was dismissed on that retaliation one, because I had, they said I was driving without my lights on. Chille, you cannot drive a Charger with the lights off. It's impossible.
It was Joshua Martinez. Thank you, Ann.
Joshua
and then
Martinez, right.
how long was Manuel in jail that day?
He was in jail for 7 days. 7 days. And we made the bond the very next, 6 hours later, we got the bond in there, a cash bond of the full amount. And they didn't even take him over to the county jail. They left him in the regular jail, the city jail, just to be, and he's suing for that one too, because there's, like I said, there's no place to sleep, no place to eat.
Can you put me in touch with his attorney? Can you put me in touch with him?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a jail
him.
scam going on right now.
Oh yeah,
I think the jails across the country, the longer they leave somebody in, the more money they make off that person.
Right. I was surprised that I got out so fast. I was really surprised.
So let me be clear on this. So Manuel Mata was bailed out within a few hours of him going to jail. And then after the bond was paid, he sat in jail for 7 days.
7 days. 7 days. And there was one that happened 3 weeks previous to that too, and he was there for 7 days. So they arrested him on purpose this time, because I was not driving with my lights off, because my car does not drive with the lights off. It doesn't. You can't.
What year car is that Camaro?
2018 Charger. There's no way.
2018 Dodge Charger.
The cop was driving a Charger, but his can do that because he's got the police model. I have tried all kinds of ways to drive with my lights off so I could sneak up on people, especially cops, and then you can't drive with your lights off, but he can because he's got the police model. So that's why he used that excuse to pull me over, that my lights were off, because he can drive with his lights off in his Charger because it's a police model.
Here's just the basic 2-second research that I did here. So if the body module was telling you the relay to turn on the headlights, it would come on at all times. You would need to test to see if there's any ground leaving the body module for the headlight. Why do my headlights stay on all the time?
Yeah. Well, see, and then at one point in that video, I said, well, I guess maybe the mechanics mess with it somehow, because I started, they're such good liars, the cops, you actually start to believe them,
1 second, let's listen.
Same thing for other people. So I figured I would make a real short video on how exactly to turn them off all the way and have them off while the car is running.
Oh,
so as you can see, again, they're off. The switch is turned off anyway, and they're on. So all you're going to do is you're going to take this pickup truck style e-brake and press it down. And it's that simple. They go off.
What was the breakdown?
The lights aren't on. So now they come back on, and I'm sure you can hear.
That's if you're sitting still.
You can see, again, they're off. The switch is turned off anyway.
So what Carolina in Fort Worth just told us is that she can't turn her headlights off. And so this man is demonstrating that he just turned his headlights off and they're still on.
See,
but with the parking brake,
they're off. The switch is turned off anyway, and they're on. So all you're going to do is you're going to take this pickup truck style e-brake and press it down. And it's that simple. They go off. And have them off while the car is parking spots are kind of scarce there, and which is kind of the same thing for other people. So I figured I would make a real short video on how exactly to turn them off all the way and have them off while the car is running. So as you can see, again, they're off. The switch is turned off anyway, and they're on. So all you're going to do is you're going to take this pickup truck style e-brake and press it down. And it's that simple. They go off. The lights aren't on. So
you have to turn on your pickup style of e-brake to turn the headlights off.
But you can't drive with your brakes on. So that's
no, you can't.
That's if you're parked.
So your lights were off. They did
Oh,
pull you
no,
over.
no, because I was driving.
Your
He
lights
pulled
were on, is what I said. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
misspoke.
oh, yeah.
Your
They were
lights
on.
were on. They
He called
targeted you and pulled you over for no reason, and then they arrest Manuel.
Manuel, yeah, they wanted him.
And that was the 2018 Charger that we just looked at, where you can't turn your lights off unless your e-brake is.
Unless you're stopped and parked, you can turn them off, but you can't drive with them off. It's impossible. But like I said, the police model, you can. You can with the police model.
Wow.
That's
Are
why
you guys?
That's why he used that stupid excuse, because he thought, oh, well, my car does it, so should hers. My car doesn't do it. I don't have the
Wow.
police model
They targeted you to pull you over
to get him
and harass you.
and get him. Because do you know why? Because what you didn't see is just like 2 seconds before we got pulled over, we were at another cop watch, and we asked them what their name and badge numbers were, or Manuel did, and they ignored us. And so he started cussing them up one side and down the other, and that's why they were targeting him that night.
He's got to have a cop card in his wallet. He has to have a cop
But,
card
like,
in his wallet. He
that's why
has
he
to
said-
have one.
That's why I said, can you tell me your name now, since I'm part of this investigation? You know, because they wouldn't tell us what their names were, because they were they were pulling people over in they were pulling people over that they didn't really have to pull over, and searching their cars. And so
Hold on 1 second, Carolina. So listen, you guys have got to have a cop card and a trifold in your wallet. Go to DeleteLawZ.com with a Z, get a trifold. I will give you the cop cards for free. If you want to buy them, feel free. It supports what we're doing. Never going to stop. I'll throw in the cop cards 100% for free with your purchase of a trifold. I'll also include this very fancy broccoli wad rubber band that goes over your visor. In addition to that, I'll email you everything else I sell in my store 100% for free. Make sure your email address is correct on your order, because as soon as you order from me on DeleteLawZ.com, I'm then going to send you in your email my poster, my ebook, a digital copy of the trifold so you can print off a bunch more, and a digital copy of the Fifth Amendment cop card so you can print off a bunch more, get them laminated, give them away to friends and family. This is the deal that I make with everybody. I'm going to keep this deal going. Everything in my store 100% for free with the purchase of one trifold. I'm also going to give you the hard copy Fifth Amendment cop cards, which are just like your driver's license, your credit card, just like it. You can go in your pocket. They're not going to leak. They're not going to run. Driver and non-driver. The non-driver's in the yellow, the driver's in the blue. Each one's a little bit different. Go to DeleteLawZ.com with a Z. If you then show me that you've laminated your driver's license, your proof of insurance, I will then feature your video on my channel. So that's where I'm at right now. That is where I'm at. What do we got, Carol?
This kind of stuff. You can laminate it with these work. Does your passenger card say don't have to ID?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because the other day I was on a cop watch and they took the passenger because she ID'd, because she had a warrant. Now people, they say, oh, well, she should have paid her warrant. Let me tell you something. People want to pay their warrants. They just don't have the money. They choose their electric bill over their warrant. Okay.
So let me ask Carolina, people don't need to be arrested for a non-violent infraction. You can put an Apple AirPod on their wrist and give them 48 to 72 hours to come up with the money and come back down to the department. You can put an app on their phone that tracks their phone. And so then they have 48 to 72 hours before their phone's going to be tracked down, and they're going to have to deal with peace officers.
And they can't put them in the uniform and put them up in the pod and put them up in the pod again, because then they lose that grifting money.
They lose that. It's about money. It's about making money off of you. That's what it's about.
They took that boy and they said, have you been drinking? And he wasn't drinking at all. They took him down like a little knoll, grassy knoll, and they put his back to his car and they started searching his car. I was like, hey, you know, I stopped them from searching the car, but still, they don't know that they don't have to be searched. You know, he was doing that little light thing in his eyes. You know, doing that light thing.
You should use the trifold when you stop searches. Use it while filming. If you know the cop's going to search, you can give consent and then say, I gave consent and now I revoke consent. You got to.
He was down there doing the light test and they were sneaking into his car. I get in trouble because I instigate and yell at them. Okay. Like, okay. So like I had a lot of bootlickers in my chat, in my thing that night. And they were saying, oh yeah, you're just instigating. Just let them do their job.
Well, you just heard the ex-cop say how I'm an instigator, how I call them pigs, and I'm like an ambulance chaser.
I'm not going to let them sit your car.
It's not that I'm disgusted, absolutely fed up and disgusted with these disgusting jackboot thug pigs. It's not that. It's that I'm an ambulance chaser. That's what Dominic Izzo said. That I'm an ambulance chaser.
But you know, if you're nice and quiet and really sweet and nice and kind, people aren't going to understand it. In other words, like if you're sweet and say, "Oh, please don't do that, officer," they're going to say, "Okay, well, I won't," and they'll do it. They will, but you have to be forceful when you're telling them stuff. They have to understand that you mean business. So sometimes we have to be a little bit loud and obnoxious.
1971, Cohen versus California. By using these words, you get to know the depths of my feelings. Justice Harlan said, "One man's vulgarity is another man's lyric."
Right. That's right.
When I tell the cops, "You're a disgusting jackboot thug pig," then they really understand the level of disdain, distrust, dishonor that I'm putting upon them. And as far as me being an ambulance chaser, I've made $0 from any lawsuit. I've made $0 from any person who I helped on a scene. No person has pulled out $10,000 when I was helping them and said, "Hey, here's $10,000 because you cursed out the cops." No.
And you got to get there before the cop does, because the cop's going to say, "Oh, that guy's going to just put you on YouTube and exploit you." No, I always walk. When I'm on a cop watch, I would purposely walk by the car, but I keep walking. And I say, "I'm here to film them, not you. I'm here to make sure you stay out of trouble." And I keep walking. Right. And then the cop usually doesn't have a chance to tell me that I'm interfering or anything. But I always try to make contact with that driver.
Jack said, "A pig is an ill-natured beast who has no respect, a foul traductor who usually masquerading as a victim on an unprovoked attack. Officer safety, folks." So it's at Northeast Colorado Clock Block said one click would take them off. So it's like an ambulance chaser doesn't laminate their insurance and block out certain parts.
But you know what's really cool too is that a lot of people don't know you can talk crap to the pigs like you do and I do. You know, they're like, "You can talk to them that way?"
You can say anything you want. It's on the trifold. I actually put it twice.
Oh,
I curse out cops, cursing out cops. Number 7 and 8. Cohen versus California and Houston versus Hill. Cohen says what I just read. Houston versus Hill says expressive disorder is inevitable in society that's dedicated to individual freedom and must be protected if that freedom is to survive. So
that doesn't mean you have to curse them out, because I've seen a lot of people go to jail for cursing them out the first time they've ever done it. So
I've done both versions. I've done clean versions and I've done filthy word versions. And the time I bring out the "F-you fucking pig" and stuff like that is when they give me a directive and then try to physically. I did a DUI stop where this really out of shape drunk pig was bouncing his belly off me, telling me to get out of the way. And so I said, "I'm going to use the bad words now and tell you to go yourself," you know? And so it was just because he was trying to physically dominate me when he knew for a fact that he could never physically dominate me unless he had a badge on and a uniform and a bunch of people backing him up.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in violence. I don't think it's a good idea to go to violence. Some people are asking what your Venmo, your Cash App, and your PayPal are. Why don't you throw those up real quick if you want to drop in the comment section.
My Cash App is CFW Carolina.
It's CFW Carolina, CFW CAROLINA is Cash App.
Yeah.
And then do you have a Venmo?
I don't have Venmo.
Do you have PayPal?
I have PayPal.
What's your PayPal?
My PayPal is PayPal me, Carolyn Rodriguez 130.
Do you put the words PayPal me or Caroline Rodriguez?
I put PayPal. I put HTTPS.
Caroline CORLINE.
No, it's CAROLYN Rodriguez 130.
COR what?
CAROLYN Rodriguez.
RIGUEZ.
Yep.
That's it.
130. Rodriguez 130. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's her Venmo and here's her. I'm sorry, not her Venmo, but there is her. Right there is her Cash App and her PayPal. Is that right? Take a look at the screen.
Where's my thing? Let me look. Da-da-da. They've been asking. That's right. Yeah, you can use all small letters on the Rodriguez, and the Cash App is CFW Carolina. That's right. Thank you.
Okay. So if you guys want to donate a couple bucks over to her, she's definitely worth the donation. It's
we don't believe what we spend money on. It's crazy. Not just Red Bulls, but like people. We have to help people a lot. Like, I mean, I met a girl that was coming out of jail and they lost her clothes and they sent her out in a paper gown. Why? Why would you do that to somebody?
because they don't care about us. They don't care about freedom.
I took her in my car and I took her down to the dollar store and I got her some clothes because she was going to take the train home. Those paper gowns would never have made it through the train. I can't believe they just didn't let her have some, scrubs or whatever they are.
Oh yeah, it's totally, completely
Paper. They gave her paper.
And utterly evil. And hey, Dan Hanlon, I know that you don't have Cash App or PayPal. If you send me the Venmo, I'll send it right over to her.
I should get Venmo. I've heard of that.
You should get Venmo. But Dan Hanlon is a regular donator. He's not a rich guy, but he just consistently donates out to people and contributes to other people. So if Dan Hanlon, if you want to send me that Venmo, I will then immediately forward it over to Carolina. No problem.
And, we do put that kind of stuff to good use too. I mean, a lot of the auditors I don't know anybody that's really into like gambling or drinking or any of that stuff. A lot of people are just out there helping the homeless and, and we need extra cash for that kind of stuff.
Ben said he doesn't believe in violence either, but I strongly believe in self-defense. Eventually we're going to, look, I'm running for governor to be the executive in charge of a state. There's only 50 governors in the entire United States of America. So it's a very exclusive position. And once I get close enough, then I got to worry about being, then I really have some big worries because the cops know that I'll change the system from the top down and they don't want that at all. Some of the myths and some of the lies that they taught us when we were young is just build your business up by your bootstraps.
Huh.
That's just,
Can't do that
it's
anymore.
not true. All the big businesses started off with huge, gigantic money and huge, gigantic benefit from huge people in huge positions that help these companies. It's just a lie. Everything happens from the top down. Everything happens from the top down.
Yeah, that GoFundMe one is something I was going to talk to Chille about. You can send me through that one, but I was going to talk to him privately about this kid I'm trying to help get out of jail. I needed to brainstorm with you so you could give me some ideas.
Sure, I'm more than willing to help. All right, Carolina, anything else you wanted to say?
I want to get together with you so that I can help. You can help me with this. Get this kid out of jail.
What kid's in jail?
Ideas.
What kid's in jail?
He's in jail for 18 years for having loud music at his house at 3:00 in the afternoon. Yeah.
What's his name?
Luis Garcia.
Where's he at in Texas?
He's in Childress, Texas. The thing is that right when we were going really strong and really good and we were just starting to really make some headway, I lost my channel. And I think it was somebody from there, because we were discovering all kinds of stuff about them. Like their whole police departments ran on asset forfeiture, and they throw, they throw wheels in the road so people hit them, and then when they hit them, the cops show up and go, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? Well, do you have a driver's license?" And they get them that way. It's the road that leads from Colorado down to Houston, the drug road, I guess it is. But yeah, so that we were discovering a lot of scams like that over there, and I lost my channel for 3 months.
Oh, I understand that. I lost my freedom
I'm
for
thinking
4.
somebody like a senator or something got involved and got rid of it or something, but I got it back.
So Luis Garcia is this the case here? Luis Garcia versus
I have. Yeah, but none of that's true. You're not going to believe this. It's like he was put on probation, right? Because if he didn't take probation, he would get 25 years. This kid was going around telling people what their rights were. That's why. Okay. So because they couldn't find supposedly he pulled a knife on a kid, but the kid that he pulled the knife on said, "No, he didn't. We're friends. We had a fight that night, but we're cool." So the sheriff stepped in and he said that he was the one that got cut by this kid. All right. And that's not true. So we have papers to prove it and everything. Well, then he took the probation, and then about halfway through the probation at 3:00 in the afternoon, the cop comes onto his property, into his house, uses the stun gun on him, takes him to jail, and they take his probation away from him because he was disorderly with the cop.
What was he on probation for, Carolina?
For cutting the sheriff. But we went to the sheriff and talked to the sheriff. Here's another reason why I lost my thing. It was a secret. Nobody knew about it because it's buried in paperwork, right? Because they took a plea. We found it. My girlfriend found it. She lives over there, like a couple of towns away. She found the paper where he said on an affidavit that he got cut by this kid. So we went up and confronted him. We're like, "If you got cut, why wasn't it in the newspaper? If you got cut by our Luis Garcia, why why are you not, why do none of your people know here that work with you? Why does your wife not know you got cut? Why did you sign this paper when you never got cut? And then that kind of.
Is he still the chief of police?
Yep. He's the sheriff. He's the sheriff of the county. He's still
Sheriff?
the sheriff.
Is it Childress County? What county is it?
It's not Childress County. It's called Childress County. That's right. So we met people that were coming through like that, a couple court
In
cases.
Texas?
Yes, but it's 6 hours away from Fort Worth, so it was so hard to get there. But we were finally making headway. People were starting to come to us and tell us stuff, other things, and then just the whole the carpet got pulled out from under me.
And so then you lost your channel for 3 months? Oh, is that... Wait, did I know you then?
Yeah. Yeah, this
Okay.
is recent. This is within a year.
This was a year or so ago.
Yeah, I put a backup channel, but the backup channel never did as well as the other channel, right?
I remember.
Yeah,
I
and so like I still keep getting these weird like things like my own videos they're trying to copyright on. Does that make sense? But
Yeah, his name's
you have
Louis
to
what?
fight it all the
Louis,
time.
what's his name?
Garcia. Louis Garcia.
Louis Garcia.
Yeah, I have I have a whole binder of stuff to show you.
In Childress, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Now they're not just doing it to him; they're doing it to a lot of other people there. So like, it's like they always get him on the probation. It's really weird how they do it.
Oh, I do know it.
And then they have all kinds of things, weird things that happen. And one thing that they really got mad at us about was this kid came from another state to go to a funeral of his grandma, right? Well, he didn't have the proper tag, so he took the tag off his grandfather's pickup truck and put it on his. He got caught with it. Somehow he got killed by the police, and we don't know. We don't know if he got shot like 100 yards away or up right next to him. They won't give us any paperwork on it, and we were just starting to break that down. And I couldn't get there anymore. I mean, you lose your channel. I don't have a way to drive 6 hours over there anymore.
Oh my God! So Childress, Texas is
It's really
just
bad.
It's just a tiny little place.
Right. The district attorney's the district attorney's wife, they took her ex-boyfriend and put him in jail for life for fireworks within the city limits. Fireworks. Yeah, life in prison.
It's known for its Fair Park, the 501 Winery, Childress County Heritage Museum, Childress Chamber of Commerce and Visitors, Extraction Paintball in Childress.
But their police department is financed totally by forfeitures. Only forfeitures, not tax money, forfeitures. And not by the townspeople, the people that are driving through, because it's the only road to go from Houston to Colorado.
Okay, so it's 5,000 people, over 2,500 are white people, 1.3 are Hispanic.
That's the problem. Most of them are Hispanic that can't speak English, and a lot of them have lost a family member to the system. Well, they're not going to buck it because they don't want another family member gone. So they're like, okay, take this one, but don't take any of our other family members. And our guy was out there actually showing people that they could, fight against the cops. He wasn't filming it, but he was talking to people and showing them how to do it. And that's why he got targeted.
So is it Sheriff Matthew Bradley?
No.
Who's the sheriff out?
That must be an old one.
Must be old. So who's the sheriff out there now?
Well, I'd have to look in my paperwork, but that is a different guy. It's a different guy.
Okay.
It's actually the county over from Childress, because what they did was it's so not populated. They took 5 counties and they put them together.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Sure. And then one is the county seat. I know what
Right.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Thanks,
that's-
Roger. Appreciate the memberships, dude.
So yeah, they have 5 counties that are all together, and they don't have anything on the computer. So if you want to know when your court date is, you have to go to the courthouse and look on the wall.
But put a 1 in the chat if you have a computer in your tiny town. Put a 1 in the chat if you own a computer. So I got a 1 for me. There's a computer I'm from a very small town in Alaska, a peninsula.
Yeah, I remember.
The same population, 4,500 people. The same population as Childress. It's the same. It's the same population as Childress. So when I go back here to this square, and I put it's SS. When I go population.
And it's all the white people get everything, and the brown people and the very few blacks that they have, they're low on the totem pole, because they had you know how they always, like, every town has a crazy person, right? They had a crazy Mexican guy that used to ride around on a bicycle with lights on his wheels and everything, and a senior in high school, a female. This happened just a few months ago. She ran over him and killed him, and she hit him so hard that the impact made him fly like. It took him a while to find him because he had flown so far away. But she got to go home that night. She didn't even get questioned by the police. It was an accident.
It says here what you were saying is that Childress Police Department has 12 full-time officers, 3 part-time officers, and a clerk. The department's annual budget is $1 million from the city, and the sheriff has also built up an asset forfeiture fund for equipment and training. So who's the sheriff?
I don't know where that 1 million comes from. Well, it's the police chief too. So
I saw someone put. Let me answer this person real quick in the chat. So
the chief's name is Shady Miller.
Shady Miller. 1 second, Carolina. So, Bilkwater, I sent off 100 free trifolds the other day. If you weren't in that list of free that I sent off, then I emailed off the rest of them. But I can only do so many every week, every month. I can only give away so many for free. But I never got your email address. I never got your email. Email me DeleteLawZ@gmail and put Bilky Water on the line. And what I ask a lot of people to do is just cover shipping and handling. Put in $5 for shipping and handling, because then I'm not coming completely out of pocket to send you off products for free. So that's just, you know what I mean? There's thousands and thousands of people who request free products, and I send off hundreds every month, but I can only send off so many. So I just want you to, I hope you can understand that. So I got you back, Carolina. So what's the sheriff's name again?
His name is Shade Miller, but I call him Shady Miller.
Shady Miller.
I did a video on him, all the stuff he's done, but it's just really a sad place. You can feel when you're there in the town, you feel how just like it's just so suppressed, like everybody's suppressed. But we were getting such good intel there at the end, before I lost my channel, is that we found out the best place to get dope was the DA's investigators.
New Childress Police Chief open to comments.
That's him. That's Miller. He used to be the K9 guy.
So, he's
yeah.
What do we know about canine coppers?
They're liars.
That they want to see their dog attack people, that they're sadistic. Most canine cops abuse the dogs to get the dog. Dogs are loving animals. They don't go around biting people unless they're mistreated and abused. And this guy was the canine copper. And let's just take a look at this article real quick. It says a new police chief is now in Childress. Chief Shad. It's Shad, not Shady. Okay.
I call him Shady.
Okay. Shad Miller has been on the job 1 week. He's improving relations between officers who serve in its highest priority. First thing on my agenda is to give back to the community aspect of law enforcement. Get out there and be seen. Chief Miller has been seen in Childress since 1999. When he joined the department, he started as a patrol officer and worked his way up the ranks. Chief Miller's history with the city isn't just limited to law enforcement. I know most people in the town. I'm active in church, and I was in Little League forever. I have kids in school. And is this the guy who said he was stabbed by...
No, that's a different one. But this guy's just as bad. This guy's just as bad.
Most crimes in Childress are drugs and property crimes.
It's mostly the people driving through with their product from Colorado.
Oh, is that what it is? People leaving Colorado?
It's the drug war. It's a drug road. It's a road. It's a caravan road. Yeah. They don't really target the people too much that live there. They get the people that are coming through. Rent-a-cars. They target rent-a-cars. And of course, people of color, because there's not a lot of people of color living in Childress, so it's easy to tell they don't live there.
Let's see real quick, Carolina, if I can get a message to Mr. Miller to see if he can. What was that guy's name again?
Luis Garcia.
Luis Garcia. Oh, it's 10:45, so it's pretty late over there. I wonder if they're going to answer.
If this is an emergency, please hang up and call 911. To speak to an officer, please call 940-937-2535. To speak to the municipal judge, please call 940-937-6943.
And then it hangs up. And
all the transcripts from all the trials and everything. And did you know that his defense lawyer never even, when the cop, how we found out about this whole case is that my girlfriend was going through Texas Supreme Court website. I don't know if you know about that website. You can find so much stuff on there. And she just happened to see a video. And these cases never had videos with them. So she looked at it and she downloaded it and she didn't look at it for a couple of weeks. And then she came back and looked at it. And what happened is that it showed the guy going in the house and putting the stun gun on him, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they went to the court about his probation, his little defense attorney never asked the cop any questions at all.
Who was the defense attorney?
Her name was, I have it written down.
Okay. So we do have to have a conversation offline and then come back online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make you a deal, Carolina.
I'm just wanting to, let me tell you something. I just want to pick your brain, and because I know you have some answers that I need.
Well, listen, I'll make a deal with you though. I'll look at this case and I'll look into it. If you make a video getting your license, registration, and proof of insurance, a photocopy, not your actual license, a photocopy of the front and the back so they can scan it with their little scanner. Okay. Front and back.
And I'm going to use my lamination right here. And
no, go down to FedEx Kinko's.
This is really good laminating tape. And I'm even going to show you where I'm going to put it in my car. I'll go all the way.
Make more than one. Make 2 or 3 so you have a backup. All right.
Okay. And I'll give some to some people. Mm-hmm. I'll film that too.
All right. All right.
Okay. So
everybody, Caroline in Fort Worth, say thank you, Carolina.
Just email me and I'll give you I don't know if you have my current.
You can email me back. I emailed you a link for the stream.
Okay, cool.
You can email me back your cell and I'll send you my cell phone as well.
Right.
Okay.
Bye,
thank you, Carolina, for coming on. I'll see you on the next one. Okay. Later. Okay. So there's Carolina in Fort Worth. That was a really good conversation. I'm really glad that we had that conversation. It was super enlightening to hear that. So anyway, listen, I've been on for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Remember the special I'm running for the trifold and the cop cards. If you get the trifold on DeleteLawZ.com, if you go to DeleteLawZ.com and you get the trifold, I'll give you the cop cards and everything else I sell in my store for free. I'll email it to you as soon as I get your order with your email address. For people asking me for free stuff, I send off so many free things every day. I may hit you back and say, send me $5 to cover your shipping and handling. You know, I mean, I hit a limit where I run out. You know, guys like Roger, Drophead, Melissa, there's people who consistently make it so that I can continue to do the things that I do. And I won't stop giving stuff away to people because people need the products. You have to, you know, but I can't do this part for you. As we saw with Carolina, I can't do this part for you. I can't do this. So if you go to DeleteLawZ.com right this second, go right now, go right this minute to DeleteLawZ.com, order one of these trifolds, and then I'll send you off the Fifth Amendment cop cards with your trifold 100% for free. You get a blue one and you get a yellow one. I'll send those off to you. And then I'll email you everything else I sell for free. My ebook, my poster, you print out the poster yourself. It's $25 at FedEx Kinko's. When you get your license, registration, and proof of insurance from the PDF I send you for the poster, and you're getting your license, registration, proof of insurance, you can print up your poster. Do that. KT, Roger, thanks for gifting out. Dan Hanlon. Oh, she's great. Isn't she, Dan? And Dan, if you don't have your Cash App or PayPal, just send me the Venmo. I'll send it right to her. Take a screenshot and I'll send it to you. Okay. As you guys saw, you guys raised over $2,000 the other day. I added another 1,000 and I'm going to add a couple more 1,000 this week. I'm just trying to build back up to pay off Press with Ranker's attorney. Forgive me. I'm not, April, thank you so much for your donations, your contributions, your love, your support. Thank you so much. Brick Jones, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you guys. What's the matter, you? Scott, I don't know what you sent me. Sometimes people will send me an email, just so you guys know, and I'm not saying Scott did this. I'm saying that sometimes someone will send me an email with 60 paragraphs. I'm not going to read that. Summarize what you need in 2 or 3 paragraphs. If you need to make a video, make a 5-minute explainer video. A guy the other day sent me 60 documents. There were 60 PDFs, video links, documents. And I was like, no. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do it. I'm not investing a semester of work into this. I just am not going to do it. I'm not, You know, if you want me to take a look at your thing, make a 5-minute explainer video and say, hey, don't publicize it. It's just me talking. Send me an unlisted link and I'll take a look at it. If you want a free trifold or a free cop card, I'm going to send off 100 of them. I'll send off 100 this week. So for 100 people that request, after 100, you'll get an email from me that says, put in $5 because I just can't after a while. Remember, my videos are seen 1 million times a day. So that's how many requests I get. I'm just a person, you know, doing the best that I can. I'm doing the best that I can. Yeah, Scott, email me again and then remind me, hey, this is Scott. We interacted on a comment. Make that the very top line and then I will reply to you. I'm busy, man. I'm super busy. I'm trying to get this organization going for First Amendment auditors to be inside of a uniform organization that everybody pays dues and we try to change these things. I am Caroline in Fort Worth. God bless you. All right, listen, Scott, Josh Almighty, good to see you. Hey, Josh, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Nice to see you, brother. Do me a favor, put in the comment section, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put in the comment section for me if you would real quick. Scott, go to DeleteLawZ.com and order one if you can. If you can't, order the print at home one and then shoot me an email and say, hey, I ordered the print at home one. Can you mail me the other one? And I probably will. You know, I probably will. Probably. You know, there's a lot of people in here who've got free stuff from me, tons. So I'll continue to give away stuff for free. Sometimes I got to get caught up, you know, I'm just saying, shout out for my boy, Soy Leal. Thank you for coming. Jenna, thanks for coming. John, thank you for coming. Sorority Sleepaway Mortuary. That's a strange thing. Good to see you, Tim. Nice to see you. Jeebus Chris, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Clown Patrol, thanks for coming. Hey, The Vigilant, thanks, man. Thanks for your contributions, your donations. I appreciate it. Dan Hanlon, Larry, Melena, Roger Lane, as usual, thank you, my friend. Mike, good to see you, my friend. Danielle, thank you. I appreciate you. Dr. Donna Walters, thank you, hon. I appreciate you. I know that you just donated yesterday to Press with Rankers Fund. I really appreciate it. Brandy, a little bit of everything. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I got the free stuff. Thank you so much. I'll help this weekend with Cop Watch. I appreciate it. All right, listen, I've got to get this. I got to get the flock out of here. Jim, Mikey B, Greg, Bruce, Chuck, Gloria, all my moderators. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.